Hello and welcome back to Pact of the GM. I actually apologize that I have to do another one of these introductions. Still getting to grips with technology and all that confusing scientific mumbo jumbo, but we are only missing a little bit of the stream this time. In fact, because of, I guess, how slow really the players were, they just had a lot to talk about and discuss what was going on. Really, not much is missing at all, but I am sorry to say we are missing just a little bit, about the first hour or so. Still, I can run through it very, very quickly so that those of you who are watching here on YouTube don't have to miss anything. Our players awoke to find themselves in this gloomy, dark, dank, very wet, almost like cell crawl space. The bilges of a ship that was well underway and taking them to some kind of destination unknown. They acclimatized to where they were. They spent a great deal of time talking to one another, trying to get to grips with what had happened, where they might be going, who might have them, and investigating their surroundings. They had a brief conversation with Felia, who came down and revealed herself to be their jailer, along with a couple of the cultists that they hadn't done combat with earlier. And after she departed, they ended up antagonizing one of the guards for a little bit of time, possibly just to amuse themselves, possibly to annoy me. Who can tell with these players? Eventually, however, they came up with a little plan of sorts, or they came up actually with a multitude of plans on how they could get out, and tried a kind of collection of those plans smushed together, just doing their best to see if they could escape from the prison they now find themselves in. Tara, being a druid, revealed for the first time her affinity to animals and her ability to change her form into that of a beast. And I believe we kind of come back in with the point at which Natara has turned herself into a rat to escape her chains, her manacles, and yeah, the party are kind of throwing their plan into effect. Really, you kind of just jump straight in at the exciting bit. So I really hope you enjoy the video. You all got to back up then.
Yeah, we'll back up.
Yeah, right back, right back.
Geronimo steps back against the wall.
Brennan will crawl himself back into his corner.
Yeah, Baron will kind of shimmy his way over to the corner.
Just as a note, pushing yourself to the corners does put you about 40 feet back from where the grate is. Just giving you rough distances there.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so Durgus will not back up. He'd just be out of sight if that makes any sense.
You have to give me a stealth roll then.
Okay. I won't say anything because I don't want to jinx it. Actually, fuck my life. Okay, never mind. Should have said something anyway.
Should have prayed to the rat god again. With a 5, you kind of try to back up against the wall, but unfortunately you're standing in that kind of very shallow standing water that just builds up in the bottom of any ship like this. And there's a little bit of a splash, and his eyes kind of dart to where he heard it. He goes, No, I said back up. Make sure you're all back there. One of you's mission, I should be able to count. 4 of you back there.
It's hard for him to walk. It might take him a little bit of time.
I can wait.
Geronimo's going to motion for Durgus to come closer.
Yeah, and he begrudgingly sort of shimmies his way back over, mumbling a few words about Natara beneath his breath.
Very nice. As the guard notices you all having moved back, he pushes himself up, and there's a click as he takes off his key and unlocks the padlock. There's then that loud metal creaking sound as he pulls the large grate back up and open. A pause, and then a thud and a splash as he kind of drops the short drop down in. Really, you can only kind of see up to his midriff as he remains standing.
Natara's gonna start to scurry across over to the grate.
You can indeed do that. You don't really need to make a roll. The guard kind of peers over, sees you, just shakes his head. You're a rat. nothing out of the ordinary there. Then kneels kind of down and squats and gets as low as he can, and then begins peering around to see where all of you are.
Geronimo, at this point, is going to once again close his eyes and squeeze them really tight as he tries to do his to respond back to Natara. Do you have to speak to me first, or can I just do it?
She can. I can give the ability to someone to speak to me. Same way. It's called mind link.
Okay. All right. For an hour. Okay, so Geronimo does the squinty eyes thing. He sort of really barrels them tight, and then speaks to her and goes, "Maybe you should come down, become human, hit him."
I was thinking I'm gonna close the grate. I'll close the grate, lock it in, so you guys whack him. He can't get out, and he got the keys.
He squeezes. His eyes are still squeezed as he tries to focus on the mind link. We're quite far. Might be hard.
Well, man up.
I'm a gnome, he says.
Whilst you're busy having this conversation in the middle of the action, he seems content that Natara is not there and is already standing back upright and turning to clamber out.
What, is he already clambering out? Do I have time?
He's turning to do so now.
Okay, I'm gonna scurry on over. Oh, hang on, what are you gonna say there, Jensen?
I was going to say that the moment he's sort of in, Durgus would sort of take it upon himself. And so you said it's 40 feet away?
Yeah, like from the back of the ship where you are to the kind of front, maybe 25%, where the grate is set up. Yeah.
That's too far for us, like, yeah.
No, I'm thinking if I could throw something.
You can throw within 40, yeah.
You can use your pot knife.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, you know what? He doesn't know what's going on with the whole rat thing. He thinks, like this whole thing has been busted, so he's going to take his ceramic shard and aim to lob it towards the man, if that's all right.
Yeah, you can give me a strength check, basically, because it's an improvised weapon, so you don't get your proficiency.
Okay, that's fine. This will be ability check.
Oh, it wasn't a 3. Thank God.
I was about to cry.
Yeah.
With a 16, that'll be AC. So you throw the shard of pot towards him. It's a pretty awkward throw, and the shard of pot's not a great weapon. You will deal 1 hit point of damage plus your strength, which is +3. So you actually deal 4 hit points of damage.
I also have thrown weapon expert, which is a +2.
Baby.
Wow. Nice.
You're gonna kill a man with the shard.
Well, you didn't unfortunately kill him, but there is a loud, almost like crunch as it kind of connects into his shoulder, tears through the robes very easily, and leads this very large gash right the way down, kind of top of the shoulder down his front. He snarls as he turns back, reaches up to grab at the injury. You bitch.
While this is happening, little rat Natara is gonna scurry on over and try to close the grate.
As a rat?
As a rat. How heavy is it?
I mean, you're a rat. You have a strength of 2. So you can give me an athletics.
I think.
Give me an athletics. But whatever you roll, we basically are applying a -4.
That's alright. I rolled a 0 then.
No, you already got a -1, so you rolled a 1. You're a rat. You walk up to this grate. You rub your little rat claws together. You can do this. You can just push it. It's just a grate. It's metal. What's it going to do? And you just start pushing your little rat hands against it, or your rat feet against it. It's not moving anywhere.
Okay.
You're a rat.
Okay.
What's this guy doing?
He's just turned on Durgus for throwing the piece of pottery at him.
Geronimo's gonna.
See the people attacking this guy. Brandon's gonna. I don't know how. If they're prepared, I can still use them, can't I? Because I don't have the spellbook.
Yeah, if they're prepared, you can still use them. It's only things like if anything has a component cost, You won't be
Okay,
able to do it.
have
because you
components
don't
of pocket. The only thing I can do, magic missile, all 3 at him.
And
Blow
so
it
from
out.
your extended hand comes 3 magic missiles that spiral and pirouette and spin around this very enclosed space, almost creating this strange light effect. A moment later, each missile thuds into his body. 1, 2, 3. He goes back with each hit, stumbles on the last one, falls back, his head clanging loudly with almost like a crunching sound as he hits the edge of the opening. And then he just slumps down very, very still. And Tara, from your perspective, having given up trying to close the grate, there is a very nasty brain-coloured splatter on the edge of the opening.
Natara looks at it curiously. Almost, the rat looks very interested all of a sudden.
Oh, God. That's not going to eat brains, is it?
I really hope not.
No, rat's not going to eat brains. It's the scientist that's interested. Don't worry.
But with that, or just briefly actually, because we're looking at about an hour now. With that, you guys seem to have killed him.
Natara's.
And with I was going to say, with the guard dead, and with the grate open, I think that's a perfect time to take a break.
Yeah.
Because we've been playing for about an hour now.
She was just going to say to Geronimo, he's dead. Good job.
Perfect.
We will then go to a break.
Let's do it.
Yay.
And welcome back. We have just had our break. I'm sure we've enjoyed many attendee and lots of drinks. Returning at the beginning of a breakout, as our heroes, our adventurers, have just finished besting their guard, and the grate that leads to freedom is wide open. What do you guys want to do?
Durgus would rush over, and by rush I mean frantically squirm his way along the floor, as they can't properly, stand up, towards the man, and he, give him a bit of a punch, a bit of a kick, not a kick, wrapping his hands around his neck, making sure it's properly dead. For I imagine peering up and seeing the little rat staring down at him.
Overkill.
And Natara is gonna climb down in little rat form. Well, actually, I can't do that, can I? Because she'll take damage.
The drop isn't 10 feet, so there is no fall damage.
Okay. She'll hop down and then turn into herself.
Durgus, you are suddenly squirmed up against the side of the opening as Natara suddenly drops down as a rat. There's a splosh and then appears as a full-sized herself, no longer enchained. Those obviously still on the ground.
She's gonna go over to the guard and get the keys.
You have the singular key.
I have the singular key. Durgus, here, the key. Open your manacles.
Oh yeah, he sort of peers around, having seen her turn from rat to person, and sort of push him away. He seems a little confused by the sudden transformation, but he shakes his head quite firmly as he takes the key. Did you see anyone else up there?
No, I saw nobody else. Down here, at least.
Aye, and he goes quite quick.
There's a lot of crates up there. We can use them to hide.
As if no one heard this. I mean, it did bang his head pretty loud. And I imagine he cried out a bit too. But he sort of reaches down quite quickly. It does look like the manacles can actually be undone with a key or something, or is it just like...
They definitely look like they have a keyhole on them. Around the neck, where the chain kind of runs through, you can see there's a kind of latch mechanism there that could undo, and then on the manacles around your legs, you could unhook them as well. However, as you press the key that came from this guard into the manacles, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, and he'd go sort of push it in, and then turn it around, push it in, and sort of jiggle his feet a bit to shake the lock and try it again. It doesn't bloody work.
Fuck's sake. She'll, Well,
Is this
get
for
out of the grate.
that?
Hmm?
Is this for that? He sort of reaches up and points towards the grate.
Aye, it must be for the grate. And just that. The manacle keys must be somewhere else. Is there any way else we can get them off?
Wouldn't surprise me if Felia's holding them herself.
Aye.
Most likely.
Well, frankly, we can still move at least with them, so...
Well, maybe a fair bit of hopping, but... Right, let's just get out of here. And he takes the, was it a spear or a big stick, you said?
It's a pointy stick.
Yeah, he takes the pointy stick and sort of tosses it over the top of the grate, if possible, before aiming to sort of heave himself up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easily done. There is a kind of metal clanking sound. You imagine going forwards, if you try to kind of sneak around on these higher decks, it's going to be with some difficulty, given that your feet are now constantly jangling. Climbing up is easy enough, and you enter this dimly lit, fairly compact storage room. On either side, to kind of left and right, there is a single porthole. Around the room, as mentioned, there are these stacked and roped crates and storage lockers and things like that. The few barrels that you can see that seem to have been broken open appear to have salted fish, fresh water, things like that inside. To the fore, I'm getting it now, around some barrels, you can see the doorway that I mentioned earlier, and to the aft, I'm getting better at this, you can just see the storage. The room goes further back than it does forwards, so you can't make out what's back there.
Oh, do you see anybody else up there?
Not that I can see. And he sort of takes the sharpened stick as he slowly raises himself up. Just how tight are these manacles? Like, can we move our feet a little bit, or is it just like basically cast iron, like tied together, so we have to like hop?
No, you can move your feet a little bit. It's like if you've watched any of those old films where they have like chain gangs walking along. It's that sort of thing. Your feet can definitely move. You can definitely walk. You probably won't be sprinting or running anytime soon. And your feet jangle, but it's not hopping everywhere.
Okay. And does it look like there are screws or anything which seem to make it up, or is it just like?
So the mechanism around the actual kind of anklet section is essentially a metal ring with a kind of lever that's been built into it. The lever itself has been hammered in with a pin, and then on the other side there is clearly a locking mechanism where the bar kind of swings in, latches behind a lock, and then you need the key to kind of turn the latch back so that the thing can swing open. It's a very basic locking mechanism. There's no kind of complex pins or anything like that.
Okay.
Geronimo's going to either way try and push himself up and get out of the hold and get to where Durgus is.
Yeah, I think Baron will follow suit as well.
Yeah, Natara's also climbing up.
Yep, Brandon too. Well, with difficulty, I imagine.
Yeah, you guys can clamber out. There's no checks necessary here. You clamber out, see the same sights that I mentioned earlier.
So, I think we should try and find our equipment before we skedaddle.
Aye.
I can't believe in my book. But in the meanwhile, he sort of, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, Durgus appears to transport in forwards in time and end up under a fire alarm, I imagine. For the rest of us.
Oh, no, it's done. Sorry. It was just fire alarm. It's Fire Alarm Friday. We love it. Shit, it's Tuesday. Oh my god, I'm such a stupid. Right, no. Yeah, and he tossed the sharpened stick towards Baron. Assuming he could probably use it a little bit better than he could. Right, let's. Well, first things first, need to get these manacles undone. Geronimo, you're like the technical type. Do you think you do anything with these?
Yeah, but I need my tools. I can't do nothing without my toes, It's just like my hands, they're like... And he kind of slaps his hands, kind of like, they're like putty, but they need the right tools, for the trade.
Hey, well... Can't you? But it doesn't matter. Well, hopefully they've got them stored somewhere. Just, everyone, keep your head down. Let's try to be a bit stealthy about this.
Geronimo's gonna immediately, kind of like a bloodhound, try and sniff out his tools. He's gonna look towards the back where there seems to be some sort of storage area and kind of creep towards that area.
Yeah, the ship kind of runs down that way lengthwise. You make your way around, and you're going to give me a stealth check with disadvantage, please.
Oh, disadvantage?
Oh, wait, no, you're not in the... Wait, the manacles are still hanging around your neck. Yeah, you're at disadvantage.
Okay.
They're still jangling. You don't have the... Well, you do have the movement restriction because of your foot, but you don't have the necessary same mechanical restrictions the others might have.
13.
With a 13? Okay, you're fairly quiet. You kind of hold the chains up together. They don't jingle so much. There's still definitely some noise, but you minimize it as much as you can, given the circumstances. As you wander forwards around some of the crates and take a look around. Mostly this seems to be supplies. A lot of them stamped with Palmer's logo, as a lot of the crates were in the cave that you were in before. The room seems to run a little further before reaching another door that also has a torch next to it, though in one far corner you can see what appears to be this very rickety, almost like cupboard that is just kind of leaning up. It looks very out of place, as if someone has hastily put this together after the ship was put together.
All right. Geronimo's going to kind of peer around, sort of like side-eyeing, kind of like, like he's sort of hunting wabbits. And then kind of creeps towards the cupboard and is going to open it.
As you open it, there is a very faint squeaking sound. And as soon as that happens, you hear this kind of ruffling of feathers. This movement of darkness behind the kind of door opening. And then as the door gets about wide enough for your face, leering down and out over you, this very long, scraggly kind of bird face pokes out and looks down at you. It's human-sized and has these kind of sooty, dark, greyish-black feathers. One eye looking blind, that milky white. The other one, a bright yellow. As it peers down at you, its head lolling out.
Geronimo kind of falls backwards. He goes, "Oh, what the hell are you? Are you copying me?
I go here.
Hey, stop that!
No, what? I'm doing here.
I don't understand what you're saying."
Literally a hot fuzz Quasimodo. Oh my god.
Geronimo's like peering around, kind of like looking left and right. So like, who are you? Oh, my accent went there, but oh well. I can. What languages do you speak? I don't understand the one you're saying.
I'm ringing on.
Brandon's gonna look over at Natara and go, "Do you want to do the mind thing?"
Well, it depends. He needs to be able to speak a language that I can understand. She tries to pass the mind link over towards what she assumes is a Kenku. Because I can move it seems.
Yeah, I just need to check that, because I think you said...
It doesn't say that it needs to be reserved.
Where is your mind link?
Posted a little bit further up.
Yeah, so scroll.
Is it?
Mind
There
link.
it is. Mind link. Okay. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a pause as you kind of manage to make your mental connection to this creature. Whilst this is happening, it kind of stumbles out of the cupboard, one wing swatting the door open with a loud kind of crunk. Under one of its wings, it has this very nasty looking mop, and at its feet, which are these really thin, very pale, bony bird legs, there is a bucket full of what looks like dirty soapy water, which it kind of half kicks along the ground as it stumbles out, and then very awkwardly with its wings it kind of uses the mop and begins to mop up around where you were just standing.
Tara's gonna speak to it. Can you understand me?
There's a pause as the Aarakocra, not Kenku,
Alright.
peers around, not really sure what just happened.
Natara's gonna point to herself. I'm the one speaking.
How are you doing this?
It's a special thing that my kind can do. You can understand me then?
I can understand all of you.
Right. They can't understand what you're saying.
I'm speaking common.
It must be the accent they can't understand then.
Racists.
Are you a prisoner here on this ship?
No, I'm the swabby.
She's gonna repeat this to the others. He's not a prisoner. He works on the ship. He says he's a swab.
Durgus begins charging over towards the Aarakocra, not at least as quickly as he can, quite frantically shaking his chains.
Natara tries to grab him as he kind of goes past her.
Okay. In which case, Natara, give me an athletics. Durgus, you can give me an acrobatics or an athletics.
Okay, I'll do athletics.
10.
With a 10 versus a 13, Natara, you kind of reach out to try and grab a hold of Durgus. Durgus, you shrug her off fairly easily. Your muscles rippling around your shoulders and in your forearms as you get ready for this fight. As you charge across, there is that kind of loud rattling of the chains, and the Aarakocra kind of almost stumbles back, wings going up to defend itself, and it goes, "Hey!"
Durgus, stop! I can talk to it.
Yeah, and he'd sort of he'd clamber towards this thing and aim to sort of grab it with like a tuft of feathers as he raised the fist, sort of aiming up towards its face. So I can speak fluent fist if it's not going to cooperate.
Right. She's gonna speak to the bird thing. Right, do you know where our weapons and items are? They took everything from us.
So, Durgus, as you grab a hold of this Aarakocra, you do grab some of the feathers, and immediately you feel those feathers kind of like unpluck straight away. They come out very weakly. This bird's feathers are not staying in well. They just kind of begin to crumble in your hands. Whilst Nataro, in your mind, you hear your items. They might be in the captain's quarters.
The captain's quarters.
The Aarakocra's kind of wings are flapping up around its face. It's not going for you. It's just kind of doing its best to try and protect itself. As there's just this strange, almost like feral.
Durgus, get off it!
Oh yeah, we don't can bloody trust it. Show us the raw bloody stuff.
He says they might be in the captain's quarters. She's again gonna speak to it. Do you know where we're heading?
So, Durgus, you're still holding onto it, right?
Yeah, he's gonna. I imagine that the feathers are gonna like pull away, and then he's gonna try and grab another tuft of feathers, and they're gonna fall as well.
Yeah, you are beginning to pluck. You're beginning to pluck this bird.
Yeah, and but he's gonna like sort of frown. He sort of tries to go for like the chicken skin beneath, just trying to grab what he can to at least try and feel it at least slightly intimidating.
Yeah, there's some real wrinkly chicken skin under there that you can grab a hold of. As the Aarakocra continues to try and protect itself, whereas Natara, in your mind, you can hear destination. No, they just said back towards the coast.
Geronimo is going to walk up to Durgus and kind of like, catfight slappy hands. He's going to start slapping on his shoulders and go, "Hey, Bigsy, now's not the time. I think this guy's okay."
I don't know you're so bloody trusting.
Oh my god, this is your end.
Doesn't even speak our bloody language.
He does speak our language. It's just the accent. You can't understand it. Just let it go.
Well, you can. Maybe he's trying to deceive you with his brain powers.
He's just a big bird. Just let him go.
Hey, and you're a smaller one. I'll pluck you after.
Geronimo is going to take a step back, and the look of complete and total horror on his face as Durgus calls him the small one.
I would like everyone to give me a perception roll, please.
This is bad news when everyone has to do the perception roll.
I don't even know how to.
You're all present.
An 18?
23 from me.
I got a 9.
Everyone but Brannon. Even that 9's going to do it. You will notice as the door next to where Durgus has the Aarakocra grabbed swings open very quietly. It's quite clearly visible. It's just so quiet that, Brannon, you may not notice it with the kind of the fight that's going on between Durgus and the unarmed Aarakocra. The door swings open, and the cultist looks out, very confused for a moment.
Oh, Durgus, get that one! That's the one! That's the bad one!
Durgus is going to try, and he sort of peers over quite quickly, peering towards the bird. He's like grabbing the chicken skin off, sort of having his fist raised as he turn, and in an attempt, he try to take both hands and wrap them around the person, trying to grapple them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes mechanical sense as well.
It's
as
like
actual
this
sense.
angry dwarf just charging at everything he sees.
Quickly grab them and sort of pull them backwards away from the door.
You can have an athletics attempt for me, please.
I believe Durgus.
A thing called love.
Holy telepathic rat god, listen to my call.
Privately roll.
Oh, 23?
Telepathic
So
record.
I'll tell you that the cultist rolled a nat 20,
Oh, man.
which comes out as a total of 21, which is still
Hell
less
yeah.
than the 23
Oh,
athletics.
good.
Hell
So-
yeah.
Durgus, even as this cultist backpedals as quick as he possibly can, your might, your strength is just too great, and you manage to kind of grab him by around the shoulders and just haul him inwards towards you. He is now grappled. Everyone else, what would you like to do?
Baron is going to be rushing over towards the cultist, much like Durgus, but instead of trying to grapple him, is just going to hold the pointy stick up to his neck when Durgus kind of has him in his grasp.
Okay, make an intimidation check for me.
We got a
Oh,
no.
no.
wow. A 1 and a
That
2.
one.
Yeah. He doesn't really seem to be paying attention to you. It's almost like he doesn't even notice your attempt to threaten him. He's kind of too busy trying to squirm out of Durgis's arms.
Geronimo is going to attempt a flying kick to the balls of this man.
You might as well headbutt him in the balls.
Yeah, using. Okay, so you know how the chain isn't attached to his feet, but it is attached to his neck. He can hold onto the chain like bits, manacles, and try and like go whack into his soft area.
I'm gonna hold onto the manacles to do a flying kick.
No. Ignore the flying kick. Ignore the flying kick. I just realised that he's gonna grab the manacles and using them to kind of whack him into his ball.
Okay. You're gonna spin them around like a flail.
He's gonna use them as a flail for the balls. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a strength check because this is another improvised weapon.
We have such terrible strength. Here we go.
Yeah.
Is it saving throw or ability check?
Just ability check. It's not saving.
Let's do this.
Oh,
Nice.
So you start swinging this chain kind of with your arms, but also with your neck in this strange sort of spinning top motion. But Geronimo, it's not really that comfortable. It's not that great. And in fact, you start to get dizzy very, very quickly. And so as you kind of swing around, like, I'm going to get this guy, like somewhere where it really hurts, you totally misjudge the angle. You swing right past him, especially because you're doing your best to avoid Durgus and Barrand.
Yeah.
And you just swing off to one side and slam into the side of some boxes.
Yeah.
As you miss completely.
Geronimo's gonna crack into the boxes and go like, "Oh!" like that.
Nice. That leaves us with Brannan and Natara.
Brannan's going to run towards the door that this cultist just came through. Is he out of it now that he's grappled?
Yeah, he grappled, I assume, kind of Durgus pulled him over. He's out of the doorway. Through the door, you can see a room smaller than the one you're in. On either side, there appear to be two wooden posts that have kind of been hammered in to the floor and ceiling, creating the beams from which between a number of hammocks have been slung. Under the hammocks, there's an assortment of bags and boxes that people likely use to store their goods. But more than that, there is just this kind of nasty stain of lots of people living in a very unhygienic location.
Are there any doors in there, or is this...
There's actually a ladder at the far side of that room at the very back that leads up to what looks like an opening where the sun is shining down quite brightly.
Seeing that, he's going to note it and then immediately quietly try and close the door and lean up against it.
Yeah, easy enough done. Natara?
Natara's gonna look to the grappled man and the group. Just gag him. Cover his mouth so he can't call for help. Then she's gonna look back to the birdman and say to it, "I'm sorry about this. We've obviously been captured, as you can see, and I hope you're not going to tell anyone, because the dwarf there, as you can see, what he likes to do, he just, charges people."
So, whilst the Aarakocra responds in your mind like, "What are you doing? I'm sorry, what? I don't know what's going on." The cultist, meanwhile, clearly not happy with the suggestion of gagging him and tying him up and things like that, is going to try and just punch Durgus right in the face. He has advantage because your manacles provide the restrained effect without the reduction to speed.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I was hoping someone would disarm him or, bind him up. But no, it's fine. It's fine.
And he rolls a 17.
I don't have my armor on, do I?
No, so your AC is 10 plus your dex.
Yeah, fuck that noise. Yeah, that hits.
You take 1 point of damage as he punches you right in the face.
Thanks, guys.
Everyone else decides. We roleplay with everyone else. We do not.
Yeah.
This.
The Aarakocra out loud, by the way, is kind of stumbling back away from this, just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? There's no women!"
Hey, calm. Just calm down. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to get off the ship safely. We want our items back.
Are you spending your next action to try and calm the Aarakocra?
Yes.
Then give me a persuasion check, please.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Hope it's the
Oh, the nat 20. No.
With an 11 and with what you set before, he begins to calm down, though he has kind of stumbled back into his little cupboard and is doing his best to just kind of hide there for now, though he's making a lot less noise. Everyone else, what are your actions?
Geronimo's pissed.
Oh.
He slammed himself into the crate. He doesn't want to try and smack this guy in the nuts anymore. Instead, he is going to firebolt him.
Okay. Make an attack. Yeah.
I don't need to do anything else to it. Firebolt.
No. Just roll the attack.
Huzzah! 1 fire damage.
Yeah, that firebolt shoots forward, kind of hits into his side, and you hear a hiss and a sizzling sound as it burns a little hole that begins to scorch and blister the flesh underneath. He now has a very nasty red sore on his side, but the human cultist is looking just fine, really.
With him still grappled and having just been thumped quite violently in the face, Durgis's nose already quite red and seeming to grow a little bit sore. He is going to grow fucking furious and attempt to, if possible, briefly lift him up before slamming him to the ground, sort of trying to get on top of him. One could say perhaps restraining the fellow.
You need to make another athletics check for me then.
Is this gamer moves?
It could be a gamer move.
Please be that one. Fuck my life.
Even with the 11 on your athletics, that beats his 8, which means that you kind of step forwards, pushing the weight of your strength behind you as you push him off balance, and he kind of almost falls to the ground as you lift him up and put him down quickly, forcing him to kind of crunch down and land on the ground. He is now restrained. As you have him held, kind of almost pinned to the floor.
Baron is going to try and smack the cultist round the head with the pointy, like, stick spear thing to try and knock him out.
Okay, give me a... I treat this as a quarterstaff, which I believe is a simple weapon, so you'll have proficiency. So just give me a strength, and we will add your... Oh, actually, no, do it as a saving throw, because that adds it automatically.
Yeah. Oh, 13.
Even with a 13, you're going to whack him. I believe a quarterstaff... I want to say that's a d6. I may be wrong.
I think it...
Roll a d6, and if not, I'll have you reroll.
Doesn't he get advantage for restraint, or...?
Oh, he does, yeah.
Ooh,
So, in fact, roll me. I just double-checked. It might actually be a d8. In fact, it might be a d10. No, it's d6. But it's versatile, so it does go up to a d8. Yeah, okay, so you can roll me 2 d8s and add your strength. Because that's your crit.
That'll be 10 damage, but it'll be non-lethal, obviously.
And damage non-lethal. There is just this kind of whipping sound as the wood swings round. There is just 2 bangs. The bang of your stick hitting him, the second bang of his head hitting the floor, out like a light. Just immediately goes limp in Durgis's arms. Chest is still rising and falling. It was the non-lethal damage. He is unconscious, but 100% that guy just goes out.
And Baron will look down to Durgis. While you're on top of him like that, see if he's got anything on him. He might have some more keys.
Geronimo at this point is going to bring his fingers up to his mouth and go and breathe on top of them as the firebolt magic peels off him.
Thanks for the bloody help. Right. He sort of eases down, now trying to sort of feel around the belt for perhaps, any sort of weapons, any keys or anything.
He appears to have been carrying a scimitar, which you can pull off of him. Would you like me to add that to your collection of weapons, Mr. Durgis?
Yes, please.
It's in there.
Hell yeah.
Additionally, he has on his person 15 copper pieces.
Yes!
We rich.
You rolling in the dough. Though he does not carry on him any keys, though around his neck you notice that kind of leather strap of a necklace, and on it there appears to be another charm made out of kind of flotsam.
Okay. Yeah. Durgus, obviously finding no keys, does pull the scimitar into hand. He sort of doesn't do the juggle, but do the thing where you sort of throw it and flip it around and catches it quite happily. Right, now we're talking. What do you think should we do from now on? What did the bird thing say? Stuff was.
You think they might be in the captain quarters?
And how far away are those?
Does anybody know how ships are laid out? I mean, I've never been on one.
I imagine the captain's quarters will be towards the back, usually, although not certain.
She's gonna look to the Aarakocra and talks to it. Whereabouts is the captain quarters, and do you know where we can perhaps get the keys to get off these manacles?
In your head, the Aarakocra replies, "Captain has the keys," and visibly the wing kind of leans out of the cupboard and points back towards the rear of the ship. And then the wing comes in very quickly again.
So the captain quarters is that way, and the captain has the keys for the manacle.
Probably worth asking him, would the captain by any chance be our tiefling friend?
Is the captain Thalia?
There is a long silence as you mentally say the words, "Is the captain failure?" And then the Aarakocra's head leans out very slowly and just nods very slowly, and then darts back inside the cupboard.
Okay, it might be safe to assume that we aren't getting out of these manacles until we can find a different way.
Aye.
If I can get my axe back, I can try and break them.
Well, they're in the captain quarters. But perhaps if she's out of it, maybe we can get in it and get our stuff.
Does
Before.
the ship feel like it's moving currently?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's swaying from
moving.
side to side. It's definitely moving forwards. Out the window, you can see the open ocean.
Look towards the Aarakocra again. Before we were heading back to shore, to Storia, what was the destination before we turned back?
East.
No, nothing else than other than we were heading east.
This time the Aarakocra actually speaks out loud and goes, "I mean,
Says in your mind, please.
nobody tells me anything."
Look, do we know if we can even trust this thing? Is he with us or against us?
Dargus. Quiet.
Aye, but he's gonna go tell others if we're making an escape. Don't shush me!
She holds up a hand towards Durgus, quite rudely so, to clearly indicate for him to shut up.
And he meets the hand with a scimitar and sort of jabs it forwards.
No.
Whoa, let's just breathe a little. How about, would we be able to, or does your bird friend know where our stuff would be?
He said they were in the captain quarters.
Okay, so no matter what, we need to get up there.
He's just looking towards the Aarakocra. Are you? You're not held against here by your will. Why are you working here if nobody tells you anything and you live in this bucket cupboard?
Where else do I go? I swab decks.
Hey guys, I got an idea. Why don't we get our stuff back and then take over the ship?
How many people are on this ship? How big is the crew?
The Aarakocra looks down at the two that you felled before peering towards the door that Brannon shut. Okay. Including those two, I believe the crew now totals 3.
Okay, there's 3 crew members left after these.
Yeah, why don't we take the ship and we can go wherever we want? I mean, how hard is it to sail a ship, eh?
Have you ever sailed a ship before?
No, but I could probably figure it out, you know? And he taps his head. I got a big brain.
It'd be easier if we get a small rowboat when we get closer to shore.
You gotta think big, Hatsi. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for.
I get what you mean, but it's like, do you want to fight her again? Because that's where that's going.
Yeah, but we could take it. She left, didn't she?
She's still very much here. We're still out at sea.
Oh. Okay, maybe not then. Maybe we just get out of here.
Yes, she is the captain of this ship.
I do have one idea, although it may end terribly badly, and it might be a really bad idea.
Go on.
We could set the ship on fire.
That's a terrible idea.
Okay, it was an idea.
I don't imagine we would be on it.
Look, I've got an idea. We need to make our way to the captain's deck, right? There's some other crewmen about, and they're not exactly in the best shape to be fighting properly. So, I volunteer you, Mr. Brannan, to don Mr. Unconscious his clothes.
That's not a terrible idea. However, there's only 3 crew members left, and if there's only 6 crew members in total, then they'd easily recognize each other.
How's he going to get them on over the manacles?
So, just a quick question. Even if I do sneak past, what am I doing just by myself?
You'll be leading us, say it's some thing from the captain. And if the captain's not there, then what are they to
Oh
question
no,
you?
we're supposed to be locked up.
Hey, not that the captain orders us to be moved.
Why would she though?
Well, are they going to disobey the captain or not? They're like Brimos cultist people.
The 2 bodies on the floor, you said one was dwarf. What's the other one?
Human.
Okay. Does he look particularly skinny at all, or big boy?
Oh, she's pretty thin.
Okay. And are they wearing masks at all?
They are not wearing masks, no.
Or
Did you say she's pretty thin?
I did say she's pretty thin, yeah.
and I mean, are they wearing hoods at all?
Yes, there are hoods.
Well, maybe not me, but maybe you, Durgus, and Natara might be better off getting changed into them.
It's never gonna work. Might as well try.
Well, I mean, I haven't got any better ideas, and I'll be honest, if they even paused for a moment thinking maybe you two are them, then it might give us that bit of surprise.
Do we have time for this? Surely we should just march up to the quarters and kick the door in.
I don't see it going well. She completely beat us to a pulp last time, and none of us are at full. At
You
the
guys
moment.
have manacles on as well.
We need to get them off bloody ASAP, so let's stop talking, and what are we going to do? We're going to go and kick stuff, we're going to get changed.
Tara, maybe you should get changed. At least you haven't got any map on you.
I bloody do. He sort of shakes them quite violently.
Well, I don't.
Tara.
Yeah, so you should wear what she's wearing, or used to wear.
Tara's gonna go over to the corpse and start stripping it.
She's
Well, not
dead,
corpse, she's
unconscious.
the unconscious.
I was gonna
Sorry.
That corpse continues to breathe as it's unconscious right now.
Yeah,
After she's done stripping it, Brandon will turn to Barons and go, actually, do you want to give me a hand popping these bodies in the cell? We'll lock them down there.
Yeah, and Baron would probably hand over the pointy stick to Durgus as he would pick up the unconscious cultist after Vittoria had taken the...
Yeah, and she's fairly easy
God.
to move. Obviously, the other actual corpse is already down there.
Then Brandon will close, and I believe we still got the key for up here.
Yes.
Yeah, and he'll lock that.
Okay. The grate slams shut. Padlock it back up.
Right, so what is the idea? That I just lead you guys up to the captain's quarters?
Well, there's no one through there in the rest of this deck, at least that I can see. So we can move through there quite freely. Maybe see if they've got anything down here that could be useful. And then, depending on what we find, then you go up.
Alright, let's go then. Natara's been putting on this disguise.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. You're changed into a cultist. So just double check. Are you guys going forwards into the room that Brandon has shut the door on? that had the ladder leading up, or are you heading backwards towards the other door where the Aarakocra pointed?
Oh, I realised there was another door. My mistake.
No. We should go with the Aarakocra pointed.
Yeah.
I think that's what Durgus will want.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk your way back through the storage area, getting to the door where the guard was once sat. The door doesn't appear to be locked. It just seems to be it has like a wooden kind of latch that you can just lift up and drop.
Is there any keyhole or anything? I know it's a
No,
latch,
you can just latch goes up, door opens, you can wander in.
Okay. Brandon will pick up the latch and just have a quick look inside before fully opening the door.
Inside, you find a fairly spacious set of quarters. The captain has set up a bed at the foot of some windows that are set around, creating a very nice panoramic view out across the ocean. On one side, there is a large chest, a trunk, that currently sits closed, and it has this enameled metal kind of facing over the top of it. Around the rest of the room, there is an assortment of different paraphernalia that have been kind of hammered into the wall and the room. Most of it is cloth, with a few kind of fanciful textiles like silks and things. That has been stylized to make it almost seem like an undersea grotto. The cloth is made to look like seaweed where it's green. There's lots of hanging blues, a few glittering gems to create the perspective of kind of sparkling. Very, almost childlike in its look. Finally, on the other side of the room, there is a desk with a chair that's been tucked inside. The desk has a fairly large map that has been rolled out across it, as well as kind of navigator's equipment that was in use but has now been deposited down on the side, marking a route that seems to be heading back towards just south of Storia. Additionally, next to the map, there is a small letter that appears to be folded up.
Brandon's going to immediately make his way over to the desk and start looking at that map, seeing, is it detailing where they're going? Does it have any marker for where they are currently?
It doesn't have any marker for where you are currently, but it details a route that heads east out of Storia for a few miles, and then has turning back towards the south coast of Storia, and then heading back east again, though it gets out to kind of the middle of the ocean, and then the route stops.
Okay. After reading it, he'll roll and immediately, if there's any like twine or anything, wrap it up and take it with him, as well as the letter.
Oh, Natara was going to read the letter.
You can, sure.
Natara can read the letter while Brandon's busy fiddling around with thread.
Yes.
The letter should now be in your journal, saying a letter from Argo.
Letter from Argo. She's going to read out loud. I have been summoned and left to meet with the summoner. Go with those pesky interlopers, Felia. Then head to Farrick? I'll meet you there, and we can plot out our next move. What is dead? Don't dream.
Now dreams.
Now dreams. What is dead now dreams? Argo.
Who the hell is Argo?
Well,
The herdsman.
The headsman? Oh, we were right. He is the head of some sort of.
aye. And they were supposed to move to Farrick. And he's there. And what is dead now dreams.
I told you should follow my plan. These people are dead by now.
Aye.
Well, next time we see him, you can cut his head off or whatever you want to do. For now, we should probably just gather up what we can and leave.
Take this with us. Still gonna hand it over to they're clear now scribes.
Okay. Anyone else around the room? Anything they'd like to do? Jump on the bed?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I go to look at the
chest.
enamored chest?
Yeah, of course you can.
Jerome's gonna check it, just in case there was anything that might like pop out at him.
Give me an
Having-
investigation check.
Yeah, especially after the Aarakocra popped out at him last time.
An Aarakocra that's been kept in the chest.
Investigation, did you say?
Yes, please.
15.
With a 15, you take a quick look over, and in fact, you should be pretty glad you did. Is when you're checking underneath the kind of lip where the lid of the chest meets the body, you see that there's actually a little trap that seems to be that would have been if you hadn't just kind of there's like a latch on it, but if you don't flick back, would likely shoot a dart out at someone's hand if they tried to lift the chest up.
Geronimo's...
I was going to say it looks easily disarmed. It just seems to be kind of like a latch you need to flick off of it.
Geronimo's going to kind of like make a phew sound and then unhinge the latch for the trap.
Mm-hmm.
And then open the crate.
And didn't you know it? In the chest, there would be all of your belongings.
Oh. Geronimo opens the chest. He goes, "Hey guys, I think I found our equipment." And he's going to quickly snatch all this stuff.
Well done. Natara's gonna walk over and get her stuff.
Yeah, Dirk's going to quite quickly rummage through, looking especially for the book, which I assume he finds before quite quickly sort of strapping it to his chest with the bundle of belts he had before, and of course donning his scale mail.
Yeah, Baron's going to reach in and grab his axe. Should we try and get these manacles off then, or at least break them?
Is there a key around somewhere?
Let me see if I can do something first. And Geronimo is going to get his tinker tools out and see if he can get the locks off the manacles by messing with the hinge and latch.
Yeah, I will let you make a check with your tinkering tools, but it's going to be at disadvantage because it's not really what the tinkering tools were made for.
Nope, that's fair enough. How do I do that with the tinkering tools?
It would probably be
Intelligence?
I'd let you make an intelligence with tinkering tools for this.
Okay, so
if you do an intelligence, and if you have tinkering tools, then you do it with proficiency.
Okay, so I'll do the saving throw for intelligence.
Yeah, that's fine. This
Disadvantage. Oh.
10.
10.
With a 10, you fiddle around with some of the locks first on your own to make sure you don't make a mistake and jam up somebody else's manacles so that they get stuck. And you very quickly realize that with enough time, you could safely remove everybody's manacles. But the issue here is time. It would probably take you maybe 15 minutes of working on each manacle to get them off. And given that there's, I believe, 3 people still manacled up, that would be 6. That's an hour and a half spent working to get everyone free. It's not feasible in the time you've got given.
Yeah. Geronimo tinkers around a little bit, kind of has a little fiddle, kind of messes with the lashes and goes, yeah, I could probably get these off, but it's going to take a fair amount of time. I don't think we got the time for me to fiddle with this. It's either we got to get out of here or do something else. I don't think we can do much else. But hey, if Thalia's not here, then why don't we take the ship?
Well, she probably is here on the ship somewhere. She might not just not be in the cabin.
Aye, we're gonna have to beat her behind. And I'm not doing that with this bloody thing on. Look, if your tinkering's not gonna work, then Baron, would you like to do the honor? And he sort of spreads his, being very careful with words here, spreads his ankles to straighten out the chain to make sure it was taut enough to hopefully try and snap as he gestures towards Baron. And sorry, I don't know if I said Brandon before. I get your names so confused.
But yeah, just finishing collecting the rest of his stuff and kind of heaving the heavy coat over his shoulder, he would lift his axe up and swing it overhead and through a large arc down towards the manacles to see if it would break them.
Make an attack with your axe, and you can have advantage.
Nice. Crit 25.
Isn't that 20?
There is a metallic chunk as the axe bites straight through the metal into the wood, splitting the chains immediately.
Well, guess that works.
Hey, brute strength wins again. Let's try it with the others. Look, I'll try my
There's
sort of
only
peers.
Brannon left.
And then peers towards Baron.
Well,
Hey,
Baron.
well, him and him. Look, give me a bit. And he sort of gestures towards Baron to hand over the large axe as he aims to, do the same.
Yeah, and Baron would very slowly hand his axe over towards him.
Okay, in which case, Durgus, you can essentially make a roll with your hand axe, and we'll roll a different damage die.
That's fine.
Again, with advantage.
That is a 24, and
D12 plus your strength.
okay, so that is D12 plus 3. Yes. That's not great, but
There is another metal ka-chunk, and the chain is split apart. Only, I believe, Brannon left incarcerated.
Yeah, and Baron would hold his hand out towards Durgus, expecting his axe back, before looking over to Brannon. Right, Brannon, stay still. Just keep your feet
Okay.
apart.
Brannon will also spread his legs.
There we go.
And then, Baron will swing down to Brannon's manacles as well.
Same roll. Oh my god, there's so many
Oh my
dice.
god.
Dice.
Jesus Christ, what the hell?
That was a lot of rolls. We'll go with the first one, with a 9. This time the axe, a little bit too close to you, hits the corner of the chain, slips down and hits the wood. You take another couple of swings. Takes a little bit longer, but eventually you manage to hack through the chain, though this time you dig out a nice big portion of the wood, and you've definitely made a lot of noise hacking away at Brandon's chain.
Damn. But we're free, so...
Right, well, let's go get this bitch.
Out of curiosity, we still have the neck chains on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Except
so we,
Natara.
we still have the neck chains on. Geronimo kind of looks at the others and goes, "Yeah, but we got these on. Like we can move, but this is kind of restricting."
I honestly think we should try and see if we can get a rowboat and just leave.
Well, if we're in the middle, if we're in the middle of the sea, I don't really think our chances are that great. I think we should try and steal this boat.
Oh no, I meant more when we get closer to land. Is there a window in here?
Yeah, the entire pretty much like front of it is a window.
Okay,
You can see land, not rapidly, but beginning to grow in the distance.
we are getting closer, so once we get closer still, we can get in the rowboat, maybe even when they get off the ship, so they're distracted and we can escape when they're not looking.
Okay, I'd rather deal with them. If they're going to go after us, they're going to go after others.
I agree. We're just not very... I don't know about you, but I'm feeling somewhat worse for wear, and I don't think I'm ready to fight her again, especially when they beat the ever-loving crap out of us last time.
Yeah, but
Just
there was...
briefly to interrupt, if I may. You will suddenly hear a cry of alarm and running feet from the room you've come from. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
God's sake.
And welcome back, Pact to the GM. We are returning just as our intrepid, I suppose, prison breakees seem to have found that their escape might have been discovered. There is the kind of gasp of shock, the clatter of feet as they run away from them, the definite sound of someone having discovered the mess and the madness.
Obviously, hearing this shock, Durgus would essentially barge out the door with his hand axe raised, aiming to see if he can, see the gasped or, shocked assailant.
From your end, no. As you kind of step out the door, there is too much cargo in the space for you to be able to see the other side of the room, suggesting that they stepped in through the other door, saw what was going on, and left.
Right, I think we've been bloody spotted. Look, we don't have much time. Let's just run, chase after him, and deal with the consequences.
Fine. Just everyone got their stuff.
It's good to see
Aye.
Let's go.
And Durgus quite quickly sort of marches down the, obviously, I thought the name was like the little part, but the crate-filled hallway. Quickly trying to make his way down towards, the area where the gasp had come from.
Oh yeah, you get down to the other side. The door is open, and you just faintly see a shadow moving away from the ladder. Someone has clearly just climbed up there, or someone who was just standing at the top of it.
Okay. And yeah, I think he is going to, seeing the shadow and seeing that they're sort of within range, he is going to charge forwards, sort of bundling into the room, grabbing the lower rim of the ladder and sort of peering up as he sort of stomps down with his feet, obviously one hand dragging himself up as the other raises a hand axe, obviously trying to find the target.
You're just climbing straight up?
I think he would.
I respect that. What is everyone else up to?
Geronimo's gonna kind of like sort of follow after, but he's staying further back as he is one of those sort of people that doesn't go flying straight in. He kind of like is going to go to the doorway towards the ladder, and he's gonna. I think. Let me try and think. If he hears that there's fighting happening, he's going to prepare to use firebolt on any enemy he can see.
You're not going up. You're staying at the bottom and looking up.
Yes. Oh, no. He's going to stay at the doorway. Sorry, he's going to stay at the doorway. He's not going in first. He's going to stay at the doorway looking towards where the ladder is, and he's just going to stay there. Okay.
Everyone else?
Baron would be following right behind Durgus.
Absolutely. Natara?
Tara's going to stay back with Geronimo and readying a chill touch. Should there be fighting break?
Mm-hmm. And Brannon?
Brannon will, after Durgus and Baron, go up the ladder and also prepare a chill touch.
Okay. So Natara and Geronimo stay kind of down at the edge of the room, watching as the rest of you climb up the ladder. There is no sound in response to Durgus's kind of cheering and growling and yelling as the three of you go piling out. Durgus, you obviously emerge first out onto the rear end of a fairly small sailing ship. Either side of you, there are a couple of large balustrae kind of built into the surface of the deck. Ahead of you, you can see two relatively tall masts which billow gently in the breeze. And just in front of you is the kind of spinning wheel, if you will, of the anchor that you can turn or drop. Standing either side of the mast closest to you, there is another cultist who has drawn a dagger and has it at the ready, and Felia, who is standing the other side of the mast. Both are looking towards the three of you as you all kind of tumble out onto the deck, very, very, very angrily, as I'm going to bring all of you over to our battle board.
You do not own any token with a vision in the scene. Oh, God.
Yep, so for Geronimo and Natara, you probably can't see anything.
True.
As we are going to go into our combat.
Do we need to make an initiative roll as
I
well?
am going to need some initiative rolls, please.
Okay. Ooh, let's do that, and we'll do
Brandon.
That's not too
I
shabby.
rolled awfully.
not 14.
Oh, we're better than those two, though.
I got a 6.
Yep, so as I pop that out and begin combat, Brannon, you are starting with a 22.
Just quickly, these two ballista next to
Yep.
me, are they? How big do they look? Could I possibly turn them alone within reason?
You could, but you probably wouldn't be able to actually aim it up at them and fire. You could do kind of most of the turning. It looks like something where you'd require maybe 2 to 3 people to fire it effectively in one turn.
And I'm guessing moving it would take my action.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, then he's going to move over to the one to the north, but as he's doing so, throw a chill touch at the cultist.
Okay. That's an attack, I believe, on your part.
Yep, 19 with 7 damage.
And a 19 will 100% hit. So the hand kind of stretches out from your own, peeling off in that skeletal visage as it flies across the space and clangs down onto the kind of the midriff of the cultist, who cries out as its cold, burning embrace seems to sink into his flesh. Anything else as you hide behind the ballista?
No, I don't have anything else. Can I actually get behind this thing, like for cover?
I'll treat it as half cover. There's a +2 to AC for that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Geronimo, you begin to hear fighting, though it's clearly happening above you and they're not coming down to where you are.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to go up now.
With your movement halved as it is, it would take you a dash to get onto the deck. So that would be your movement and your action.
Fuck it, he's going to go onto the deck.
You should now be
Nice.
visible.
Oof. Okay.
And you should now be able to see.
Yep, I can see.
Perfect. Okay, Durgus.
Durgus, okay, having climbed up and sort of piled out, would quickly raise the hand axe. Seeing these two figures, obviously quite angry and very much aware, he'd decide to try and take on the heavier of the targets. Seeing this tiefling, his eyes almost grow wide with hatred as he cries out, you know what, shall I do it? Give me a second. As he cries out in Dwarvish. Yeah, he cries out in Dwarvish. The words for...
I love it when they look up translators mid-combat.
You know, apparently there is no fucking translation for it. But he cries out in Dwarvish the words for tangling vines, which seem to almost sprout out from his palm, covering the hand axe before he thrusts it forwards, aiming to send it sailing through the air towards failure over here.
Right.
I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike with a bonus action, and I'm not sure how to show that.
You should be able to just click on the dice when you hover over the spell. It should just do it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show it off, but no, I'll just do the attack because it bonus action imbues my attack essentially. So yeah, I will give it a throw. 20. Okay, which now means I do actually need to know how to post this. I'm not sure how.
I just did it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just saw it on my. You just go over to the spell, and when you hover over it, you click the dice. It rolls it and casts the spell. So that's why I said click the dice.
Oh, sorry, I'm blind.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
Which is
Fantastic. Okay, so the 20 to hit will hit. So do your damage with the hand axe first.
okay. Nice. So that will be just if I just roll damage, and then it's that +2 because of my thrown weapon.
Okay, so it goes up to a 10.
Yes, then it gets
Gets 10 damage from the axe. Then there is a strength saving throw to see if what happens. Strength at normal for her.
Oh, Keth, I think you need to roll initiative, don't you?
She's rolled.
I did roll.
Oh, I didn't see it.
That's an 8, so it's a fail. So as the axe sails through and clatters into her, there's kind of a loud oomph as the axe hits. You expect it to kind of embed in, but whatever she's wearing under this dress is clearly quite tough, and the axe actually almost ricochets off. It's definitely done some damage and hurt her. More importantly, however, as it hits her, the vines around the axe almost seem to explode around her, wrapping her up in this cordon. She now counts as having been restrained, and will take 4 piercing damage.
Hell yeah. And I think that's my turn.
As that is your turn, we then go on to the cultist, who, frothing at the mouth, this quite petite gnome throws their hood back. Their hair, this tangle of blonde that almost seems to have been lined in a multitude of directions, like the druids of yore. He goes running forwards. Just click on him. 1, 2, 3. And tries to stab Mr. Barrand with his dagger. With his dagger. There we go. Mr. Barrand, he will roll a 19.
Yeah, that hits.
And do a huge 2 points of damage.
Still like...
I know, it's half your hit points you had, so he manages to give you a kind of cut across the chest there, but, that was minimum damage rolls for him, so... You are a lucky boy, as we go on to Natara. Natara, Geronimo's obviously just run forwards, breathing hard as he kind of limps on one leg.
Yeah, she's gonna get up there.
Yeah, so it'll take your movement for you to clamber up there, and let me just double check I turn on your vision. Fantastic, there you go.
She's gonna blast that chill touch towards Felia.
Felia, go for it. I believe it's a saving throw, or is there an attack? It's an attack. Okay. A 13. A 13 won't hit, I'm afraid. So as another skeletal hand, this time peels off of Natara's own, and this time swings off towards Felia. Felia is in the midst of trying to pull this binding off of her, these vines that seem to have wrapped out and wrapped around her. And as she's in the midst of tugging at them, she kind of ducks all of a sudden, and the grasp flies over her head. A pure chance there, but unfortunately your attack missed. Anything else?
No.
Barrand.
After being stabbed by the dagger, Barrand 2 begins getting angry, frothing at the mouth. So I'm going to rage, and then we're going to bring down the Great Axe on that tiny little gnome.
Yeah, that gnome is not looking too good. With a 16 to hit, you will absolutely hit, and with that 4 points of damage and the +2 bringing you to 6, nah, gonzoed. Absolutely decapitated, dead as Dormouse. The axe swings round, cleaves kind of across his chest. There is a much louder grunt and a gasp as the air escapes. As the air is escaping, it hits where the grievous wound is, and blood sprays out into the ocean air as the body falls back lifeless. Dead.
And with that, Barrand will take a few steps forward, but that'll be it for now.
Okay, Felia is currently restrained. Now, when does she make her saving throw against you? She has to spend her action to do so, in which case she is going to do that. That's against your DC of 12. Let's see what she can get. Is it a saving throw that she keeps making? Yeah, it is. Oh no, strength check. Never mind. She will roll an 18, though. So she needs to kind of peel and rip the vines off of her, throwing them down as she takes up her weapons again, the longsword in one hand, the razor blade in the other. She goes charging towards you, Mr. Durgus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though she can do nothing with her bonus action, I don't believe. Let me just double check. Nope, absolutely nothing with the bonus action. And that will be the end of her turn. Brannon.
Well, since it's just her left, he's going to throw another chill touch at her. With an 11, I'm guessing that doesn't hit.
An 11 doesn't, I'm afraid. Again, in the movement of her charging forwards, that chill touch just kind of flies behind her where she was a moment ago.
Just to be safe, he's going to move over on the other side of the ship.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Geronimo.
Geronimo is going to hobble 10 feet over there
That's 5 feet. Remember, diagonals don't cost.
Oh, diagonals. Okay.
Diagonals don't
Go
cost.
another 5 feet then.
Yep.
And is going to shoot a fire blast. Not fire blast. A firebolt towards failure.
Yeah. Make your attack.
Spellbook. Firebolt. It's a 12. Fuck me.
12. No, 12's not going to hit, I'm afraid. This time it does strike her, though, as it hits her in that kind of large, almost blossoming shoulder of her dress. It burns through the cloth, and then immediately underneath you can see that there is quite obviously this kind of banded metal that clearly sits underneath the very large flowing dress, an armor that keeps her entirely safe from the firebolt.
Okay. Yeah, that's the end of my turn then.
Durgus, she's in your face, and she ripped off those vines. She is not a happy bunny.
Right. Well, he is. I think there's nothing else he can do. Like, I'd like to use a blister, but no, he is going to raise his hand axe, and yeah, there's nothing else he can really do in this situation. So he's going to try and give her a whack with it.
Go for it.
Oh my god.
He's souls, man.
Yeah, not a 13 to hit, I'm afraid.
Yep, that's literally all I can do. Out of spell slots, so yeah, that's me.
As a GM, I have no sides in this fight, and so perhaps remind you that since you've already got a hand axe out, could you not draw your second hand axe and swing it?
Well, I threw one at her.
You threw one at her before. She probably would have. Yeah, they probably would have collected that.
Like it's in her chest. He just like pull it out.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, the one that hit her. Oh, I forgot. I thought you meant from earlier. Sorry, from the fight before. Brain fart. No. In which case, yeah, you've only got the one then. No worries. We move on to Natara.
Natara's gonna move away from this area. It's getting a bit hairy. As she moves next to Baron, she's gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yes.
All those dice.
Heal me up.
Oh, that's good.
For a 9.
And I can add that as healing.
Yes.
Nice.
And then she's gonna carry on over towards Brannon.
Perfect. So yeah, Natara, you run past, give Baron the old bum pat of encouragement. Baron, you feel a hell of a lot better as that druidic power kind of wraps around you, almost in the same way those vines did around Felio, though rather than restraining you, these seem to almost invigorate you as some of your wounds begin to seal up together with this crackling green energy. As we go to Baron himself, who is still very, very angry.
Very, very angry indeed. Baron is going to step down,
Non-lethal damage.
flanking Felia, and is going to swing with the Great Axe, using... Where are they? The Reckless Attack and Great Weapons Master for lethal damage if it hits.
Okay, so you have advantage, and we are doing a -3 rather than a -5 because you get a +2 for flanking.
Mm-hmm.
So roll your attack, and we'll see what we get. Oh,
That's a 20. That's a 20. That's a 20.
I'm seeing that.
That's a
I'm
nat
seeing that nat
20.
20. So I will need to apply the full crit damage as Felia takes a nasty blow across her back. Baron, you open yourself up to all manner of counters if she should so choose to target you, as you just swing for the hills, for the fences, but you swing your axe straight into her back. There is a moment as the axe hits resistance in her armor, but then that buckles, and you feel the axe bite in deeply as you haul it away. There is very clearly a large injury running up her back, which now begins to leak blood into her dress.
Big damage. That'll be it for now.
As we do get to Felia's turn, and seeing the far greater of two threats and not being a moron, she is going to begin spinning her sword and her razor blade around in an attempt to try and kind of fight both of you off at once. She will turn first on Baron, who she will have advantage against because of Reckless Attack. And we'll roll a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Dealing 8 points of damage.
Ooh.
What damage is that, though?
Slashing.
He has resistance then, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, in which case I'll have 4 hit points back.
Heck yeah. I'm going down.
As she strikes out at you with the longsword again.
Great.
Still with advantage. And we'll roll a 20 to hit.
Cool.
And we will apply half damage. Dealing 2 points of damage.
Oh, he's still in it. He's still
And
in it.
seeing as you're not still down, she is going to actually swing the razor blade out at Durgus, who is still a threat, despite not having any advantages on himself. And she is going to roll very, very poorly, a 7 to hit, so not even a chance. She is too busy kind of just stabbing the long sword and swinging it around against Baron, who seems unaffected by these nicks and cuts that keep coming in. Her attention focused on the barbarian. She makes a pitiful attempt towards you, Durgus, and you are easily able to just swat that aside with your hand axe. As we go to Brannon.
Okay, seeing as I have no idea whether or not I can actually... Chill touch cannot be non-lethal, right?
If you're allowed
It's necrotic damage. I don't
Yeah.
allow necrotic damage as non-lethal, no.
Oh.
That's literally it's the energy of death. No, I don't allow it as non-lethal.
Can I make it the energy of life, please?
You actually got
That
some of that. You got some of that when Natara healed you.
The energy of only slight death, please.
Semi-necrotic damage.
He will move further away still. Because she's still well within range, I'm guessing. Yeah, she is. And hold an action, and if basically either Durgus or Baron goes down, then he'll fire the chill touch.
Okay, so if Durgus or Baron go down, reaction to cast Chill Touch. Perfect. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Geronimo.
Geronimo is going to try and fire a firebolt again. Can I do? Does that work with non-lethal? I know he's.
I'd allow a firebolt as non-lethal. Yes.
Cool. Okay, then that's what we're doing. Non-lethal firebolt. Let's go.
Go for it.
Give me something nice. 15.
Not with a 15, no.
Oh, what?
Axe.
I'm afraid again the firebolt strikes into her and once again just burns away some of the armor to reveal some of the cloth just to reveal more of that armor underneath, which is become blackened and scorched, but definitely still holding up.
Moving 10 feet away. He hobbles.
Hobble, hobble, hobble. Durgus, it's your turn. She made an attempt at your life. It may have left you scarred, but you're still going.
She did, and you know what? He's still goddamn pissed. He is going to draw now. The scimitar I definitely didn't forget about, which would be bound to his belt, and he's going to strike with his hand axe first, aiming just to cut into her back as she's turned to try and focus on Baron. As I'm going to
Okay, yeah. They're both light, right?
Yeah, they're both light, I think.
That's
Simple
fine.
weapon. Yeah.
They're both light. You're fine. Okay.
So that is a. That's a. I don't get advantage, do I? We do the plus
No,
two.
plus 2, so 13. Still not going to do it, I'm afraid.
Right. Well, that's big poopy. And how does offhand work again? It affects damage, or is it?
Yeah, it affects the damage. It has no effect on your chances to hit. So you can roll the chances to hit, and you can roll the damage as normal. We will just ignore the modifier for your. It's a scimitar, so it's dex, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So he's gonna just go for an attack. A
19 will hit.
Yep. And then he's going to just give her a little poke.
Non-lethal damage, yeah.
That's normal.
Oh, he definitely didn't declare that. You did, Keth. So 5 damage. Yeah, absolutely fine. She takes another nasty cut right across her. This one kind of hitting a space between two of the bands of armor, and drawing yet another slash across her. More blood dripping down into the folds of her dress. Anything else?
I think that's all I can do. So yeah, he's just gonna sit there and stand intimidating.
Natara.
Tara's going to cast a Thorn Whip, and with some non-lethal damage.
Mm-hmm.
15. Doesn't hit.
Not with a 15, no.
Doesn't hit.
The thorn whip whips down and unfortunately kind of seems to crack slightly off of the anchor wheel that they are kind of standing behind, causing the whip to kind of jolt off course slightly, and this time it whips past her rather than into where you were aiming for to try and not damage her lethally. No hit, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's it.
Baron, she stabs you twice.
Grr. Baron angry. Literally too angry to fall. Baron is going to swing with his axe once again. We'll go for reckless attack and the Great Weapons Master because he ain't no pussyo. He going in for the kill. Even though I'm getting to it. Even though it'll be non-lethal damage.
Barbarian raging does non-lethal damage. really making me thonk.
Pissing their pants about it.
This is a game of moves. I swear.
Let's go. Oh my goodness.
That's another 20.
That's another nat 20.
That is another nat 20, and so another fantastic hit into Felia. Should we use the crit damage? As she takes a terrible blow, right this time to her shoulder, almost knocking her sideways. She barely manages to keep her footing as blood has been flowing freely for some time now. There are a couple of very grievous looking injuries. One of the hands is now almost permanently plastered to an open wound. She barely is standing on her feet. Anything else?
I've done my hit, and that's what he does. So,
oh, then perhaps with the last of what she thinks is her energy, with the end of life near, she fears she is going to make a couple of strikes with the longsword towards Baron, who has dealt her so much pain. Doing a 16 to hit.
That hits.
And deals a max of 11, which halved goes down to 5, which is still your hit points. And Baron,
he wasn't too angry to die, it turns out.
Well, it turns out that having taken such a grievous blow, she spins round with the longsword, cracks it down into your shoulder, and it sinks in deep. There is a rush of blood as the sword comes out, and Baron, you go falling back. Even this is enough pain to cause you in your rage to realise that this is very much a grievous wound. You reach up and clutch it as you just begin to roll around, ever weakening, the world becoming dimmer as you are dying, it seems.
I got a boo-boo.
The longsword comes round again, this time towards Durgus, rolling a 21.
Scuffed rolls. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, it's nice knowing you guys.
As she rolls another max damage, dealing 11 points of damage, and Durgus, you two are cleaved to the ground in another great swing of her blade.
Pretty sure that means my reaction.
Yeah, you can 100% react.
No, it's a chill touch. You're gonna kill her.
18.
With an 18?
No!
Wow, he is. Oh.
As she swings round with the sword, taking down Baron, spinning the other way in this almost pirouette, and bringing down Durgus, the hand escapes from Brannon's own, flies across the deck, settles latching onto the back of her skull, and she suddenly stiffens as the hand sinks in very deep. There is this almost dark smoke that begins to rise off the back of her head as the hand sinks in deeper and deeper. The necrotic energies breaking down just everything that it comes into contact with, until her body goes very limp. She falls to her knees and collapses forwards. Dead.
Can we
The ship
try to, save
taken.
her like we do with the players?
That is not how NPCs work.
God damn it!
I don't know why we didn't do magic missile instead of chill touch.
Spell slots.
None left.
Oh, is it a spell slot? Oh,
Magic
my
missile is a spell slot. It's not a cantrip. But combat is over. If we could go back to our roleplay slide. The ship is taken. Before you stands the wreckage of your fight. Durgus and Baron, I would like a death saving throw from each of you, please.
19.
Nah,
19. And from Durgus.
not
2.
nice.
Okay, we are now going to be going into our injuries table for the very first time. So, I would like both of you to roll me a 2d6, please.
Got a 9.
You received a 9. Okay. Baron, you have damaged eardrums. During your fall, there was a nasty blow to your head, and you are now deafened.
Bruh.
This is a minor injury, by the way, so it's not a permanent deafened. But for now, you are deafened. Durgus, what did you roll?
Although he's muted, so yeah, 10.
Okay, 10. Durgus has system shock. He has disadvantage on any initiative rolls.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So you are in kind of shock if you get back up, Durgus. And Baron, when you get back up, you will have a loss of hearing for some time.
Great.
Baron's going to run over and start to whichever one's closest. So Baron, try and stabilize him as best he can.
And Natara's gonna go over to Durgus and do that.
Okay,
Geronimo's going to try and
sorry.
help. Geronimo's just going to try and help both.
Who are you helping? You can't help both. Who are you helping?
I have
he's-
medicine ticked and wisdom.
I think not.
Okay, Geronimo's going to help with Baron because he's the closest.
Brannon, do you have a healing kit?
He's basically trying to stop bleeding however he can.
That's fine. I would like you to make a medicine check for me with disadvantage.
Is it 5? 4, sorry, a 4.
Even with the help changing the DC, the injury cannot be stemmed with what you have at hand. I would like another death saving throw, please. Baron. Meanwhile, Natara, please give me a medicine check at disadvantage.
It's 12.
That's a pass.
Fuck.
What?
Oh my god.
Double
7
twos.
is exactly the same. So, Durgus, I'm afraid that's going to be another death saving throw from you.
Oh my god.
One has any spell slots for healing, now would be the time.
One
No,
does
I don't
not
have
have any.
Oh,
Fuck, man. This is bad.
I will allow another round of medicine checks wherever you'd like to put them.
Geronimo's going to go help
Durgus.
Natara this time.
Durgus.
I guess I'll go, so medicine check.
Yeah, make a medicine check with disadvantage. No healing kits.
I have a
What?
herbalism
Oh
kit.
my god.
You are just jamming sawdust and dirt into these injuries, hoping this will work, but
My dagger isn't
Not
closing up
working.
these wounds.
yeah.
As he stabs him a bit more. So a
Yeah, it's
herbalism
not-
kit, is that useful?
No, not the same as medicine kit. Herbalism would be good for maybe gathering the supplies for medicine kit, but it's no good.
Does anyone have any potions or anything?
We haven't bought anything.
No.
No. Yeah, you have to give me another medicine check at disadvantage, please, Natara. The DC is
Even with the
adjusted for the
help?
help. The help,
Okay.
yeah. You need a medicine. You need a
For
healing kit.
God's sake.
A 10? A 10 will stabilize Durgus with help.
Thank God! Thank God! Oh my God, it's so bad.
Baron, I would like another death saving
Oh
throw.
no, don't fail it.
Here it comes.
16! He's up!
16. He's too much of a Chad.
So,
Okay.
Jesus.
this scene, to give some narrative to this scene, Brannon, Geronimo, and Natara run over to their fallen comrades. At first, Geronimo and Brannon begin to get to work on Baron, basically grabbing spare bits of cloth, ripping stuff off of Felia's dress, doing everything they can to basically plug the injuries that Felia has caused with her blades. It's not doing very much. Baron basically bleeds through them very, very quickly. Noticing that Durgus is beginning to gurgle and cough up blood, as Natara continues her own work on Durgus, doing something very similar. Geronimo, you swap attentions, and with your help, Natara is able to bind up the injuries far more effectively. She has a far better understanding of medicine in general than Brannon does. Brannon, you continue this just pitiful attempt to try and save Baron's life, and through absolutely no fault of your own, Baron just kind of begins to slow the bleeding. It seems the injuries perhaps weren't so lethal, and by the gods of, I suppose, storytelling, Baron will survive. But you know, maybe even if the others don't, that you had absolutely nothing to do with his life being saved.
Hey guys, are they gonna be okay? I mean, they look pretty worse for wear.
They'll live.
I think they'll be fine, but they need to sleep.
And go check what's on that creature's body. See if there's anything useful.
Geronimo's going to
Needing
walk over.
tonics or equipment, anything.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to walk over to Phalia's body and loot it.
Failure on her person has a damaged set of splint armor.
Mhm.
She has her longsword. She has her razor blade. And she has a set of keys.
Geronimo's going to take the keys. And begins to sort of like just double check with his own neck brace lock, see if it fits one of them fits it.
It does.
He's going to click it open and release himself from the neck clamp.
Absolutely fine. Are you doing anything with the weapons?
He's going to leave them. He doesn't need to pick them up. But he's just going to leave them for them.
Could you repeat it just so I note them down?
The longsword, the razor blade, the set of keys, and the splint armor. Damaged splint armor, yeah.
Thank you.
Just a wild question. Do anybody know how to sail a ship?
I've been on a few, but I'm not sure about on the sailing part. We've got a map at least, but let me check downstairs, see if they've got anything useful for healing or anything in the boxes. And Brandon's going to run down the steps, and you said there was like boxes next to their bunks before?
Yes.
So he's just going to go to the nearest one of them, fling it open, and just looking around for anything useful.
Give me an investigation check, please. With an 11, you find a handful of coppers, 34 in total, as you go between the equipment. Most of the rest of it appears to be kind of just general eating goods. You're talking like bowls, mess tins, things like that. Though in one box in particular, actually hidden in a kind of fake flooring that you easily see and pop open, there is a small red potion.
Okay. He will take the red potion, grab the copper as well, because why not? Run back upstairs. And how big is this potion?
Slightly larger than a vial.
Would it be within reason to pour half in Durgus and half in Barrand?
If you would like to totally minimize all the effects.
In that case, he runs up, grabs the potion, goes up to Natara and goes, I've only got the one. Who do we pick?
Well, they're stabilized, so they'll recover eventually. Maybe we should save it.
True. Okay, I'll keep it for now.
Hey, maybe we should find them a bed to let them rest, whilst we figure out what we're gonna do. We're stuck on a boat with only the three of us.
I get that, but I'm a little worried about trying to drag them downstairs. I don't think I could carry either of them.
Okay, then maybe me and Gaggles over here can go find some sort of mats or.
What if they're traveling pack? Surely they have sleeping bags and sleeping mats in them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, I mean, they can lay on the open deck whilst we figure out what we're gonna do.
Aye.
That works, I'm sure. Some of them have bedrolls. If you don't mind, while you're doing that, I'm going to go back to the office.
You try and navigate and find out where we are.
Yeah, I'm seeing if she's got any more information on what's happening. So yeah, Brandon's going to head back to the captain's office and with his map, and basically he's just going to be looking for any information on where they are, where she was intending on going, and seeing if she can make sense of where the ship is currently.
As mentioned before, there was a route out of Storia eastwards, then marked going backwards to somewhere on the coast just south of Storia, and then marked back out to the sea eastwards. That's the route that's been marked.
Nothing in any of the drawers in that desk or anything?
Nothing suggesting where you are, no.
There should be some navigation tools that
Those
I
are
mentioned earlier.
Those are sitting on top of the desk, but they were just put down. They weren't in the process of being used, so there was no sign of...
Maybe one.
And use the navigation. I'll bring that up. And is there like a sextant or something?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll grab that, come back up. He knows his way around the map at least. And he's going to try and make sense of where they are with my limited knowledge of how things like this actually work.
Give me give me an intelligence check with proficiency if you're proficient with navigator's tools.
I'm proficient with cartographer's tools, so maybe...
Nah, not the same. Making maps and finding out where you are two different things.
Fair enough. So just an intelligence check, yeah?
Yes. 17. You are heading back towards land. The route shows going back towards land south of Storia. You are probably heading back towards just south of Storia.
He'll go up to the other and go, yep, we're not far from Storia at least, so we're not too far off the beaten path.
Perhaps we should just let it keep going towards Storia. Get back there, at least we know what we're up against. That it's the headsman.
Yeah,
Kind of worried. I'm sorry.
He's got an army waiting for us there, with the militia.
No, he's waiting for us in Farrick. Read the letter.
Oh yeah, you read that out. Maybe we should make sure we does anybody know where Farrick is? Isn't that not where we're going?
Well, it was west.
I'm pretty sure Farrick is probably the other location on this map that's marked out.
Aye.
I can actually take you to the world map, as you can see. The map as provided.
Well, I think it would probably be best if we... I don't think we should just let the ship go. It could run aground, and the three of us certainly can't do much of that. So maybe if we drop anchor for now, till these two are back up, then we can actually have a think about what we're doing.
Alright, let's do that.
Brandon's going to run around and see if he can find an anchor.
There is an anchor wheel right by the way up.
Perfect. And he will start to unwind that.
Very, very easy. Basically, you just kind of take out the locking pin that's in the wheel, and the wheel will automatically start winding down as eventually the anchor slowly lowers. There's a kind of thud as the anchor begins to drag, and the ship comes to a slow.
Perfect. And in that case, he'll go back to the others and go, well, at least for now, set these two up, and I think we should just get some rest, unless you want to deal with your bird friend.
Oh, aye, we forgot. Maybe he knows how to navigate or something like that. Probably go and fetch him and tell him what's happened.
Yeah. Tell him we're the captains now.
And maybe you should do that, Natara. He seems to be at least a little talkative with you.
He can understand common. He understands everybody. It's just his accent, so anyone can tell him, Geronimo, why don't you go?
Me? Okay, I
You
could
got
do
this.
that. Yeah, okay. Geronimo is going to hobble downstairs.
The Aarakocra, during all the fighting, has picked himself out of his cupboard and is now standing in the doorway into the room that you descend into, looking at you with this kind of cocked head as if questioning.
Geronimo kind of steps down and kind of then just sort of like hobbles over and kind of waves him and goes, hey, friend, we're the captain now. I don't understand what that means, but you don't have to be afraid no more. We're just looking to get to land, and but we're not so good at navigating, and we're wondering if you can help. You don't know? You can't help us? Shake your head if you can't.
He pauses, and the eyes kind of narrow as he peers down at you.
I don't understand what you're saying. I need a. He kind of looks back behind him and shouts up, "I need a translator."
I think he means you. Natara.
Natara is clearly busy having a giggle and then goes down. The mind link should still be established because she didn't remove it and it's not been an hour yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, what were you trying to say to him?
Within your mind, Natara, you hear. He keeps asking if I can help him, and I'm a swabby, so I'm asking if he needs something swabbed.
Well, Dolya is dead, as is all of the other crew members. Now, we don't really have a navigator of any sort. Are you able to assist us with perhaps navigating the ship? You've been around on ships for a while, I assume. Perhaps you picked up something useful?
I know how to swab the deck.
Right, so nothing useful then.
As you say, nothing useful then.
Oh, shit.
There's suddenly a... and he turns very angrily, and with these kind of very skinny bird legs, stomps off towards part of the storage area. Almost swings very quickly the mop down aggressively into the bucket, causing the dirty water to splash everywhere. And then he begins aggressively mopping up the ground.
John looks towards Natara and goes, what did you say to him? He just ran off like really angry. I thought you were going to help me.
he could only see to swap decks. Yeah, and I kind of said that it wasn't useful.
Oh, great. So make sure to remind me to not use you for diplomacy.
For some reason, Natara seems to be finding this hilarious.
In the background of all of this, there's this just constant kind of almost white noise of I'm ready for they need a woman. Well, I was wondering if they're going to need a woman, and I'm not going to need a woman, and when they need a woman, just constant, just this drawl of just noise.
Geronimo looks towards Natara, and his eyes suddenly go wide, and his face pales as he goes, I just remembered we got that one guard that's downstairs locked up. We should probably put him in chains.
Oh, aye, good idea, because we didn't kill him, did we?
Hey, come here. Let me open your chains, and we'll go put him on.
I don't have any chains then on me. Remember, I turned into a rat. Just fell off.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay, let's go up to Baron. Smallsy and Bigsy.
Aye.
And Geronimo goes up and would attempt to unlock their chains.
Being mostly unconscious, I would assume the people up on deck can't say no, unfortunately.
Speak for yourself, Alex.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, all I'm saying is that when it comes to Geronimo wanting to remove the chains around your neck, you're kind of just there.
Anyway, he takes. I'm guessing he takes the chains off, and he's going to look towards Branna and go, Hetzi, we just realized, or at least I did, that we got that guard downstairs that we didn't, send untimely to their grave.
Yeah, it might be worth keeping her alive. She might have some answers.
Yeah, we are, but I just thought it might be a good idea to lock them up.
Hey, we can put these manacles on them.
Really matter? I mean, she is in a cage.
Cage?
Yeah, but what if they try and get out? I don't know.
True. I mean, I locked her in the thing, so and I hand Geronimo the key and go, make sure to keep her down there. She's probably still unconscious at the moment anyway.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, she'd get out and twat us. Only 3 of us now. Well,
yeah.
For now, anyways.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to take the key and he's going to descend once more. He's going to pull at Natara's sort of like outer clothing, trying to get her to come with him just in case he needs the backup.
All right. We'll come with you.
And he's going to head to the little rate, peer inside just to see if the lady's still knocked out and on the ground or if she's moved.
The bilges look exactly as you remember them. There is the corpse, which is still splayed out amongst its own brain matter down there. And there is the unconscious woman who appears to have rolled over in her unconscious stupor, but that is about it. She is still pretty much exactly where you deposited her on the bottom.
Yep, Geronimo's going to open the grate then, go in and try and lock this woman in the chains.
Easily done. Yeah.
He does so. And he's gonna remove the body corpse from the hole as well, just because feeling sorry for her waking up and seeing her friend with her brains like splattered everywhere is probably not the best thing.
Absolutely, because a woman waking up
Can
trapped
I-
in the bilges of a ship is fine, but if there's a corpse there, that's when it gets weird.
It's even worse.
Can Natara send a message to the to the grumpy
Oh, God.
swabby?
Okay, yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. She's like, oh, we found some work for you, something you can swab. There's some brain matter here.
As you say that, there's no response in your mind. Instead, the swabby turns and, almost holding the swab up like a spear, points at you and goes, "Oh, now you want to know me? I just want to know what something that means. You want me to know something you know."
Yeah, what did he say?
I'm not really sure, but I don't think he's willing to help.
Yeah, Geronimo looks towards him and goes, "Hey, pal, whatever she said to you, she don't mean it. You know, she's one of those people that says things she don't mean. But hey, me, I think you're pretty useful, pal. You're a friend." Meh.
As you kind of repeat this mooing sound back, his face twists and kind of pulls back as if you've just said something incredibly rude. But then he just goes back to swabbing the spot of floor that he was doing before.
Geronimo's going to look back towards Natara and shrug and goes like, "Well, I tried, I guess."
I think I offended like his family or something.
Yeah, either way, I got this body here. Maybe we should drop him off the edge. I don't know.
Aye. What about the brain matter though? I don't really want to be dealing with that.
It's down there, and then nobody has to. The only person that's got to deal with it is our lady friend.
Ah, guess you're right.
Anyways, let's take the body up there and figure out what we're doing now.
Aye.
Geronimo's going to head up onto deck with said body. Maybe ask Natara to help because he is wee and hobbling.
Natara's gonna help the hobbling little gnome.
Is Brandon up to anything whilst the others are doing this?
He probably would have made sure that the other two had their bedrolls underneath them as best he could, and then afterwards gone back down into like the main sleeping area, gone through any boxes he might have missed, see if there's anything else interesting or useful.
Oh, give me an investigation check.
Okay. That is a 5, so a 7.
It's a lot of supplies. Enough you would reckon for a full crew on this ship, which you reckon might be perhaps 15 to 20 people for maybe 2 weeks of journeying, maybe.
Is this including rapids?
Yeah.
It shrugs after going through it and goes back to find the others.
What time is it roughly, Alex?
The time would probably be the middle of the afternoon. The sun is descending, but you still probably have a few hours of daylight left. Whilst this is happening, though, and you guys are kind of getting busy and on with this, slowly but surely, the sword that Felia had been using, the longsword that is, would have been changing. The hilt of the weapon would be becoming gnarled and curled as the wrappings, which were leather bindings, would begin to shift and take on this green, almost seaweed-like sheen. The blade itself would almost seem to drop the kind of wrist guard as it fell off, and the blade would dull, become more rusted, a deeper iron, almost the sort of material that an anchor is made out of, as it takes on the appearance more of a club than a long sword. Then, in blue light, strange runes begin to almost etch themselves into the weapon. Barrett, it has been a tumultuous period of unconsciousness. You remember your anger, your fury, the bitter rage of being in battle, the sense of being invincible, followed by the horrible agony and the seeping blackness of your body realizing it's not. As you settle into that unconsciousness, having not bled to death, there is a strange lull, as if everything has become quite deaf. You feel almost distant, as if you're not quite feeling your own hands. Your senses are fuzzy and gone. You don't really know what's happening, but you most certainly feel yourself somewhere. In your mind's eye, you feel yourself sinking, sucked downwards. A feeling you've had before. You've fallen unconscious a couple of times before. But not like this. This feels deeper. You're being dragged somewhere you haven't been before. And very soon, you start to cough and splutter as the sense of being able to breathe leaves you. Everything begins to close in. It's as if you're surrounded on all sides by something. And as this feeling settles on you, in front of you, a single eye blinks open.
Okay. So is he unable to, like, talk or anything?
Right.
I guess he just try and call out to the eye. Hello?
As you do so, your voice comes out in a gurgle. It's weak. You can still speak, but it's far quieter than you can manage. It's as if your body's strength is leaving you. As you say hello, the eye blinks again. And around the eye, it's almost as if the context comes slightly more into focus. You can see pillars of some sort. You can see arches. You can see great structures, you think, beginning to come into focus, but they're still very much blurs.
Okay. So looking around at the structures that surround him, I'm guessing this isn't like anything you would have ever seen before.
No, most certainly not. You've had perhaps lucid and weird dreams before. This is something else. Something entirely not normal.
Yeah, he just kind of look around and call out again. Is anyone there?
Again, the voice is weak, distant. It's almost like it wants to echo, but it doesn't. It's as if the space you're in is far too vast. The eye blinks once more, and the space becomes even more in focus. This time you can see the pillars are not just pillars. Some definitely are made of stone, though they look aged and toppled. The others appear to move and drift as if caught in some kind of wind. The structures I mentioned before, some of them, again, definitely buildings, but archaic, having collapsed, and others you see are actually just what appear to be boulders.
Okay. How big is the eye that's in front of him?
Quite large, the size of perhaps the size of a small house.
And how far away is he from it? Is it like easy to just kind of walk up to it?
You're perhaps, as you would understand it, perhaps 50 or so feet back from it.
Okay, I think he'd start walking closer to the eye. See if it has any like reaction to him getting closer.
As you step closer, your body immediately takes on that weightedness again, and suddenly you're falling once more, and everything seems to rush up around you, as if you're sinking deeper and deeper and deeper, until you find yourself caught, almost. Peering around, it's as if you are trapped within, or on top of a spider's web of these kind of fronds and strands of green plant matter.
Okay, he'd try and kind of do his best to break free from it, if anything, just try and struggle his way out of it.
Give me an athletics check, please.
15.
15. The 15, you begin to pull your arms up, left, right, you pull at your legs. Your limbs are definitely coming up and away, but you don't have enough strength. Your arm comes back down, you're tired, you're injured, you're not exactly where you want to be. And despite giving it your best effort, you still find yourself trapped against this green material. Looking around, it slowly begins to wrap up around you, almost contracting together in the way you would imagine a Venus flytrap might, lifting up and enclosing around you, casting you into this grim darkness once more. And as you settle into this new darkness, very slowly, in your mind, you just hear the word, interesting.
He would call out upon hearing that. Who are you? Where am I?
There's a pause of a few more seconds. And then the almost vines that seem to have enclosed you begin to suck in tighter, coming ever closer and closer as the voice carries on. Don't stop fighting.
And he's still kind of wrapped up.
Yeah, you still are kind of there. With that athletics check, you're able to kind of pull yourself off briefly, but you always find yourself tugged back to it, but you still got some mobility there.
Okay. Hearing that, he's probably just going to keep on trying to break his way out. Let me have a quick look. Oh no. Trying to kind of build himself up into like this fury that he would in combat, but obviously weakened from the previous battle, not able to.
Yeah, give me another athletics, this time with advantage, please.
Ooh, 24.
You begin to pull yourself away, getting more and more purchased this time, managing to peel off and hold yourself up off of this strange green vinage, and it's almost like weeds. Eventually you manage to almost sit upright, even as this thing gets tighter and tighter. Suddenly, the vines stop, and you hear this deep, almost belly laugh, or a chuckle. Good, the voice says. I will watch you. And it passes, and you're back in the blackness of unconsciousness. For those of you still on the ship, what are you going to do?
Well, first things first, Geronimo's going to bring up that corpse and chuck it off the side of the boat.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
want to deal with your dead, and you got to do it in a respectful manner. Over the side.
Yeah.
Dunzos.
Yep, gone. There's a splosh. The corpse falls in there. Done.
Yeah, Geronimo pats his hands, like rubs off the dirt, and he kind of looks back to the others and goes, I mean, he had his brains like splayed out everywhere. I got to get rid of that.
Yeah,
What
the
about
smell.
Dolya? Well,
Oh,
maybe we should like send like her fingers or something to the hand.
Yeah, you're crazy, lady. I like the way you think.
Jesus Christ, I thought we were supposed to be nuns people.
I'm just saying, you know, he's a mean bastard.
She tried to kill us.
Aye.
Maybe we shouldn't be so cruel, you know, to the other people. Like, what?
Well,
Why
she's
is it
already dead.
Wait,
Oh.
aren't they wearing, like... Didn't I see one of them wearing, like, a necklace or something?
Why those old autumn thingy?
Yeah, we already got one of those.
If she's got one on as well and see if it's any different, we could use that.
Let's check if she.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to go over and check to see if she has like a necklace on. soon as
Apologies, I just realized I was muted. No, you kind of check around the dress, but no necklaces to be found. Give me an investigation check.
I will do so. It will come in a second. There we go. Nice. 7.
Yeah, no necklaces.
The rolls today have been awful. Anyway. Yeah, Geronimo kind of pats her around, trying to avoid, frisking or feeling up a corpse too much. He kind of looks back towards the others and goes, "Yeah, I don't see no necklace. She's probably special. Got something else, maybe, but."
Or
yeah,
maybe the necklaces makes them like, brainwashed, mindless drones.
Perhaps that's probably a good point. But hey, you noticed that her sword is turned into this, and he kind of points towards the mace, the glowing ruined mace that's on the ground now next to it.
That's a bit odd, wasn't it?
Wait.
A razor.
Yeah, that was a sword before. And the razors.
Oh,
that was a long sword.
Yeah,
that's weird.
nobody touch it. It could be like that weird totem thing.
Could be one of those magic. Do we have the book and the totem still?
Yes, I've got the book. It was with the rest of my stuff, and I'm
good.
assuming Baron's still got the totem.
Geronimo's gonna look for the stick on Baron's person, and he's gonna take it and then try and prod the mace with the stick.
Make a dexterity saving throw. No,
Oh, fuck.
no. You prod the mace, and it kind of just shifts the way a mace should. Certainly, no explosions, no terrible eldritch being escapes. It kind of shifts slightly. The light carving the kind of almost runes into it continues to burn very, very slowly, almost like a laser etcher, just creating these dark runic lines in a language that none of you speak.
The Geronimo's he pokes it and then kind of like shifts back a little bit, hobbling away from it ever so slightly, and then kind of shifts forward. And then what he's going to do, he's going to poke it sort of like, he kind of pushes it sort of like to a more secure position in the middle of the ship and goes, yeah, may I recommend that nobody touches that just in case? I mean, those runes, the language doesn't look very... I
wasn't going to. We should have it examined, or find out what it is.
Well, if I can get some rest, I can tell you exactly what it is, but I can't do it at the moment.
Yeah, but there's only 3 of us, right? Now we got to wait until it gets to land and start this thing.
Well, didn't...
No, the ship stopped. I dropped the anchor. We're here for a while now.
How the other 2 wake up?
I thought rather than us possibly running ashore and breaking the ship, we might as well stop here where nobody knows where we are.
Not a terrible idea.
Plus, don't worry, we won't starve. We've got about 40 crew members worth of food downstairs.
Yeah, but
Brilliant.
don't we got to get somewhere first? Do we maybe get to some land?
We're safe here. I mean, until these 2 wake up, I'm not really sure about how we're going to run a ship between the 3 of us. When they wake up, we can discuss it. Shouldn't take long. We all could use a break.
Aye.
Why don't we sit down and rest for an hour then or something?
I'll throw my tent cover over these 2 so they're at least protected from the weather, and then we could take the beds downstairs.
I'll stay up here and keep watch with these guys.
Take some time when you want. Come wake me up. I'll take a next watch. And Brandon will start heading back downstairs after taking out his big tent roll again and flopping it over both Durgus and Baron.
So are you guys chilling out for an hour and taking a short rest, or are you doing like a full long rest here?
I think initially it's just going to be until those 2 wake up. So short rest.
If you take 1 hour, you can each roll a hit die, and obviously that goes for the unconscious players as well, and that'll be the hit points you recover.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Hell yeah.
Just do short rest, I think, don't you? Then
yeah, you can just click short rest and it'll ask you all the things.
It's like dice to roll d8. Okay, do I then...
Oh, damn. Nice.
Can't even see roll. Situational bonus, no. Public roll, yeah. Normal.
Nice, got a 6.
Oh, nice, I got a 4. Does it add the points automatically?
It's adding them automatically. You were the only one to roll under half their hit die.
Perfect.
I am at full health, baby.
Hell yeah.
Oh wait, no, never mind. The tower rod in that one.
Edge.
So as the hour passes, the tent seems a little unnecessary, as the weather outside is actually quite nice. The sun is, if not shining, it's at the very least glimmering down upon the ship. It continues to just sit in the water, bobbing along quite happily. The waves aren't too powerful, and it is with very heavy heads, perhaps made no better by the swaying of the ship, that Durgus and Barrand will come to, their grievous injuries having been kind of packed and filled and at least stabilized, if not sealed, during their kind of break. Also to find themselves covered with a tent.
Before I carry on, how bad is that, like, being deafened? Is it like completely can't hear anything, or is it just a bit muffled?
I think kind of can't hear out of one ear.
Okay.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to be sat opposite the two of them, kind of just like looking outside at the weather and the kind of ship sort of like floating about.
Is this tent like actually set up, or is it literally just draped over us?
It's just
Literally draped
Okay.
over you.
You've got a big sheet of tent just draped over you.
Yeah. Well, Durgus, he's going to slowly stir. And Jono will probably see as there seems to be sort of moving bumps beneath this sort of tent. And then quickly, obviously, his head's absolutely pounding. Like he doesn't really know what sort of direction he is. Like when it comes to his sort of ears, he's sort of a bit shaken up. Really, he goes, "Oh bloody! Why is everything so bloody dark? Oh, she didn't bloody kill me, did she?" And you just hear this monologue going on as he's like beneath the thing. It's just bloody hell.
Geronimo's going to take the stick that he had from Baron before, and he's just going to like prod at Durgus, like it is sort of like body and face, like whilst he's under the tent. He's not going to say anything. He's just going to prod him.
Yeah, and obviously feeling this prod, he sort of lashes out at least as quickly as one can, and you can see this fist sort of raising up beneath the tent. Also, just a bit of a bump. It's, I bloody knew it. I thought I got it. Right, come on then, you demon. I'll show you what for.
Geronimo, you can just hear Geronimo like chuckling, like a giddy kid as he continues to poke him, going like, just like poking him, like as he's like fighting some imaginary foe.
Yeah, and then also as he's poked over and over and over again, he'd sort of reach forward to try and almost grab at the invisible sort of poking thing, before realizing, it feels like he's very much laying down, and maybe this isn't actually hell. But he's not entirely sure this. He's going to continue flailing a bit and obviously grabbing and punching. Before I imagine this sort of tent is slowly sort of unfurled as a bit of a break of light. Yeah, so he's gonna quickly crawl on out if possible. I imagine still being poked by Geronimo before sort of throwing himself into the light.
Durgus escaped super hell.
This is it. He did it. He did it where others could not. Yeah, and he peers towards Geronimo. So, what bloody happened? Was my head hurt so much? Did we beat her?
Yeah, so when you and Smallsy went down, Hatsy just, he just finished the job.
So we got her as a prisoner?
No. And he kind of like slowly points the stick towards the sort of mast where Felia's body has been sort of like just corpses just sort of like lying slumped up against it, clearly looking dead.
That bloody idiot! Right, well, what does that mean for us now?
Well, we do have a prisoner still. There is a random cultist we did manage to get.
Well, I doubt he knows much. And why did you throw this bloody thing over us? And he goes to sort of quite quickly drag it off. Though he does seem to stumble and fall over a bit. Also, with this sort of sense of balance, obviously a little thrown still. As he tries to reveal the Baron beneath.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like Durgus would be crawling around this tent, when in reality Baron would kind of just be sat up with it just kind of over his legs. He would probably be looking around with his eyes squinted a bit, perhaps still recovering from the combat previously. He would just kind of drag the tent off of him, furling Durgus up into it even more, if anything.
Yeah.
Where's her body?
Geronimo is still pointing towards it with his stick. It's by the mast.
Well, can't you bring her back to life or something? I mean, you're the magic type.
I restore machines. I don't restore people. I don't think that's even possible.
Bloody useless. Right, well, what about the others been doing? I mean, well, you've obviously been playing bodyguard.
Well, Hatsi thought it might be a good idea to put that tent over you so you don't get sunburned.
How long has it been?
About an hour, I'd say.
Oh, well, no point for it then, is there? Look, what are they, downstairs?
Yeah, they were resting downstairs. I was just waiting here for you two to wake up. We can't run this ship ourselves, so...
I guess so. I mean, I'm a dwarf, I'm not exactly seafaring, but I guess we could give it a go. Where exactly are we, if it, it's not outside yet? I mean, she said we're heading, back to Storia, but just how far out?
No, we're heading south of Storia. We're heading to some other place. I can't remember the name, but then they were originally going to go west to a place called Farrick, I think. It's anyways, that's where the headsman's going to be. But what we're doing is we're staying here, heading south, and then I don't know, like figuring out what we're going to do from there.
Well, I don't think there's much of figuring out. I mean, you heard what she was there to do. She was there to find, some person and then someone else who wasn't actually, used to be a human but isn't now. I mean, yeah, at least narrows it down somewhat. I mean, if we can find them, then hopefully we can find out the reason for why she was after them.
Hey, maybe we can save that person and then they can join our crew.
Well, I wouldn't say crew, but I mean, I imagine they'd want to aid us in dealing with the bastards who aim to kidnap them.
For sure, we need to go back and deal with that headsman. Maybe if he's gone to Farrick, maybe what we do is we head to this new place down the south, and then we go to Farrick, and then I mean, admittedly, I'm a little bit wary about going back to Storia with that. What's his face? Reginald B. Whatever.
Someone like that with that sort of confidence, I imagine he's probably in a rowboat a few miles behind us, chasing us, keeping eyes on us or something.
I hope he isn't. And Geronimo visibly shivers.
Either way, you're right, Baron. I mean, I saw her, got you a few months before she went for me.
Baron kind of looks down to his wounds. I'd say I've had worse, but it was quite bad. It should be okay.
I must admit my head's a little knocked up, but I think we should, like you said, rally the troops and keep on heading onwards.
Yeah, I think Hatsi wanted to come up with a plan before we did something.
Oh, well, he likes his bloody plans, doesn't he? I mean, what's wrong with, just spur of the moment at times?
Geronimo shrugs at that. Yeah, I like a bit of spark of inspiration.
Yeah, he will. Hopefully Alex will give us that after the session.
Oh my god. The ICNO is splendid. Jesus.
The GM is not amused. Says a great booming narrative voice from the heavens.
Did anybody hear that? No. Geronimo kind of like stands up now and kind of like goes over and pats Durgus on the head and goes, "Yeah. If you follow me, I'll take you to Goggles and Hatsi."
Hey, well, let's just get him up here. And he sort of, he goes to follow Geronimo, assuming he's leading the way. Though
Yeah,
clearly struggles a bit on the ladder.
Yep, Geronimo's gonna. Well, actually, am I still hobbling? I am, aren't I?
After the hour's rest, yeah, you are.
Okay. Geronimo hobbles down the stairs to go look for Natara and Brannon.
Baron,
Before we jump to Natara and Brannon, I think we just got raided.
Oh,
Yeah, we
So we
did.
did.
Hello, raiders. Welcome to Pact of the GM. Thank you, Let's
welcome,
Quest.
welcome.
Welcome. You're just enjoying the last half an hour or so of our stream. We've just had, a bit of a prison break on a ship, a fight over who is going to be the new captain. Our party has won, thankfully, though there were some scrapes, some scuffs. Love the art with. Thank you. Our artist is linked below. We had a fantastic experience with them. Honestly, if you ever need any D&D art, please check them out. They are fantastic. We had a wonderful time. And if any of you want to stick around, then please do. We're going to keep going. But yes, sorry guys, back to where we were, was, yes, I believe with Geronimo heading below deck to speak to Natara and Brannon.
Yep. So yeah, Geronimo's going to waddle and hobble all the way towards Brannon. Where they were going to sleep in like the captain's quarters, weren't they?
When you come downstairs, Brandon will probably just be in one of the. I guess they're like one of those. I can't even think of the word. The bed that's up on string rope. I don't know what it's called. Hammocks. There we go. Yeah, he'll be in one of the hammocks with his book, just reading through it.
Yeah, Geronimo's going to approach him and using the pointy stick that he got from Baron earlier and was prodding Durgus with. He's going to prod Brannon and go, "Hey, Hatsi, they both woken up. I think we can go over our plan now."
Please don't poke me with that. I'm fine. Right. Oh, good. Are you guys feeling better?
Well, better's one word for it. My head's a little skewed, and I think Baron, he was rather pale, but I think we'll be fine. Look, did you find anything down here? Looking around, I mean, you must have some sort of secret stash or, some information.
Oh,
Not much. I found a few coins. There's 35 copper. We can share that out in a minute, but there's also one healing potion.
The birdman is upset.
Yeah. We may or not have pissed him off.
Just a wee bit.
It was mostly Goggles that did that. It was
I
not
didn't
me
mean
at all.
to.
Whilst you're discussing the Aarakocra, you can actually see him just out of the corner of your eyes. He's been slowly working his way around the storage deck, and you just hear this, and there's just this constant, again, still drone and drivel. It's as if the voice just doesn't get tired.
Yeah, he's been like this for about 2 hours now.
Aye.
What did you exactly do to him? I mean,
Well, I kind of said that swapping decks was useless when I asked if he could help navigating.
As you say that, say that terrible slur out loud again, there is just yelling from across the deck, and then back to the standard level of droning onwards.
well, that's clearly his life's passion. I mean, he seems to like it. I mean, he preferred that over joining up with whatever the cultists were doing. But, I mean, should we not, get rid of him? Does he have anything else to offer?
just let him be. He's just angry right now. And he didn't do anything to harm us.
Yet.
You are plucking feathers out of him.
Highcliffe was a bloody cultist.
And he was hiding, trying to get away. He's not going to do anything. You don't have to kill everything you see, Durgus.
Well, I'm sorry, but if I killed everything I saw, then first off, you'd definitely be dead, and second off, the headsman would be dead, so we wouldn't have to go all the way over to that bloody other town to deal with him.
Yeah, but think about the stories you can tell. Like, think about the stories you could put in your book.
Well, it's not exactly me, but it doesn't matter. Look, so what's the plan? You're gonna get out of bed and actually help? And he sort of peers towards Brandon now.
Well, I guess we're heading to land. I think the tiefling woman was talking about another pair that she was hunting south of Storia, and maybe we should go talk to
She didn't say hunting, though, did she? She just said she was picking something up.
Well, she's definitely hunting them. I mean, she's the
We
crazy
didn't know.
kidnapping type.
There's that, and also I was going to take some time, take me like an hour and a half or two, but I was going to go over these items we've managed to find, the book, the totem, and I believe her sword as well. I don't know if you guys spotted that, but it's changed.
Yeah, it became some sort of mace, and it's got some spooky, glowy runes on him or something.
What? You've just left it there?
I didn't want to touch it. You know what happened last time somebody touched
We
stuff?
just left it, because, I mean, what were we supposed to do with it?
Well, maybe they're using it to track us or something.
Well, I'm going to find that out. I will take a moment, go over all 3 items, see what they do, and I can tell exactly what... Well, hopefully.
Didn't you need to sleep before that?
No, I should be all right. I can... it might take me longer. It might take me a good half hour to do each one, but I can do it.
Right.
Let's speak in more, actually dealing with the problem. I mean, they could be on their way to deal with us right now.
Fine, I'll get on with that now. Baron, would you mind taking the totem up and placing it down upstairs so I can do that one too?
If you're going to be doing that, Hetzi, shouldn't the rest of us figure out something to do with the ship and get moving?
The anchor that you dropped.
Yeah, so you can raise the anchor again. That's not a problem. And I can't help with sailing a ship. I don't know the first thing about it.
Do you think they got a manual or something?
Don't think they got a manual.
No, it'll be easy. I mean, just raise the anchor, lower the sails, get on the big old wheelie thing, and we'll drive away in.
The only thing to be certain is don't go too close to land, otherwise we won't be getting back out.
Right, we need to
That's
drop
what the anchor's
anchor and then use the little rowboat.
Little rowboat?
Is there even a rowboat? Did
Well, I
anybody
hope
check?
so. There's always a rowboat on a ship, otherwise they can't get into shore.
I mean, I've never been on a ship. I don't think I've even been on the sea before.
Well, either way, I'll sort out these items. If Baron, if you're coming up with me, would you mind sorting the anchor out, and then we'll see what we can do from there?
Baron was kind of just watching everyone as they argued, kind of nudging his head forward and maybe tilting his head to the side as well, so you can try and listen in. What do I need to do? I'm having trouble hearing.
Oh, right. Sorry. The totem, I need that upstairs, and then if you could raise the anchor.
Yeah, he kind of just nods to that. In the room that they're in, he's going to have a look around. Is there like a Hessian bag or something around?
Yeah, you could easily find one of those.
Yeah, so I imagine he just goes and grabs maybe like a potato sack and pulls them all out into a barrel before heading out and walking to deck. He would look over Felia's body if it was still there to go for a bit, but if it's still there,
Yeah, it is.
and he'd call out to the rest of them. Is anyone needing to do anything specific before I kind of make a bit of a trophy out of it?
What with
A
what?
trophy? Out of what?
With that, he would kind of just pick up his axe, taking a few steps back and quite quickly hacking the head off the body before putting it in the bag.
Barbarian.
Yeah, there's a grim ka-chunk, the sound of a beheading as that head comes straight off.
Was that
One-
Felia's head?
That was, Felia's head.
Can I have an ear or something at least?
Yeah, just hold the head out.
Natara's gonna look towards Geronimo and Brannon, like, well, I said it, but I didn't do it.
What did you say? I didn't hear you say anything. All I heard was this big squelching sound.
You know, I said we should chop off the head.
And Geronimo's gonna look really confused for a second, and then he's gonna walk to the ladder, go upstairs, turn around, and see what Baron has done to the body. Kind of squeal a little bit, and then kind of drop down and go, "Hey guys, I think Baron just chopped the head off the tiefling."
The sound was a bit obvious.
Oh, I mean, he's like that's kind of gross, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I did say that we should probably do that, but you both said no, but
I guess what's done is done. I'm just not going to go up there anytime soon. It's kind of a bit gross.
Brannon, who was next to Baron while cutting off the head, was just going to look at the big man and go, "Why?"
Well, if we find the headsman, this is proof we defeated his champion. and he's just kind of holding the head by the hair out towards Brannon.
Brannon goes a little pale, like has to take a moment, goes behind the main mast and kind of retches a little bit.
Natara just... Sorry, God.
No.
Natara just looks at Geronimo. Told you so.
Geronimo's just headed downstairs now. He's not. He doesn't want to look at it.
Look, well, decapitating aside, let's get this boat moving, shall we? And he goes to begin sort of pulling up his sleeves, goes to try and raise the anchor.
Yeah, and Baron would go and help him.
So Baron and Durga's trying to get the ship moving. What is everyone else up to?
Geronimo's going to help, but he's going to wait a little bit before Baron to put the head away and then come back up.
Geronimo's just hanging off the he's just hanging off the hand.
Natara is walking up on deck and just waiting for everyone to get there.
Well, we all there.
Yeah. So Natara, but if everyone's getting on with jobs, Natara, is there anyone in particular that you would like to be getting on with?
No, she's going to watch them and see how well this is going to go.
Classic.
Classic. Watches
She's
the others do it.
She's just leaning towards like the main mast and just watches them to see how like badly this is going to go.
The evils after a while, just so you know.
That's fine. But before you jump into another 4 hours of role playing your banter on deck, which I'm sure is incredibly entertaining. So just to double check, we've got Durgus and Baron and Geronimo trying to get the ship moving. We've got Natara watching them do this. Brannon
is going to take, I think it's 10 minutes per cast, but to ritually cast Identify on those 3 objects.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes plus whatever the spell cast is. So if it's an action, it's 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
Nice. Very specific.
It's just that's how they work out the timing.
So 7 minutes in total for each cast.
Yeah. So could I please get either a wisdom or an intelligence from Baron, Durgus, and Geronimo?
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah, just a check, not a proficiency.
No.
Okay. Oh.
Any of those two, wisdom or intelligence.
Oh my god.
Today, my god.
The rolls have been so bad today.
Oh no!
And one.
Oh my god.
The ship sinks, we all die. That's it.
Campaign over. You managed to founder on some rocks. No. You've all seen Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not the one where he stood on the mast and it's slowly sinking.
No. It's the same film. In the first film, when they're stealing the really huge ship at the beginning, and I believe it's the lieutenant or something is sailing in to capture them, and he's watching Jack Sparrow and Will Turner on the ship as they argue about how to get the ship moving. That's you guys. You're standing around the deck, looking at the rigging, looking at the anchor mechanism, looking at how this all works together, and you are in a constant argument about how any of this works. Geronimo, you're judging how this all kind of puts together. You're kind of putting it together almost like you would some kind of mechanical design back in your workshop, and trying to figure out how the pieces go together. And you are at total odds with Durgus, who is just like, oh no, this looks like it goes here, this looks like it goes here, this looks like it goes here. You are waving the rigging around. You are pulling on things in the opposite direction. Every now and again, you are bumping into each other as you try and move things around the deck. Baron, you haven't got a clue. You are following one of them, then following the other, then deciding they're both wrong, and then going and grabbing something else. The ship is going nowhere. It is permanently just still, because no one is willing to draw up the anchor, because you are just getting more and more confused around the rigging. Natara, you are just watching them do this.
This is why Natara was just watching in the first place.
Absolutely. Be no help whatsoever. That's always a golden move.
Thank you.
Brannon, meanwhile, you were identifying. So you were identifying on the book, the totem, and the mace sword, correct?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. The book comes back as non-magical. It's a book. The totem comes back as an arcane focus. And the mace sword comes back as magical. though identifying it just seems to reveal that it is a weapon that can essentially be disguised. It seems that the club is its form, but that when it's held as an action, mechanically speaking, though obviously narratively speaking, you can kind of will it to change its form to appear in a different shape.
Is that limited to weapon shapes or literally anything?
Weapon shapes. The weapon itself always has the damage stats of a longsword.
So it's normally a mace with the damage of longsword, but it can look like anything else.
It can be made to look like anything else. If you want to turn it into a whip, it still does the damage of a longsword.
Thank you.
Okay, so Geronimo looks towards Durgus and goes, "Hey, yeah, Bigsy, I don't think you got the right idea. I think we're meant to pull this thing here," and he kind of points to sort of like a rope, and then maybe the sail will go up, and then we go forward. You know, it makes sense. That's logic.
Oh, you got it all bloody wrong. Look, the wind in that direction, so you got to pull this one because it's closest to where the wind's going.
No, that don't make sense. You got to put it all together, the pieces, you know.
Zatara's gonna say, you gotta drop the anchor, pull up the anchor, and you gotta hoist the mainsail.
Well, why did you bloody do it instead of standing there being all useless?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm with Smallsy on this one. You got to do some work too.
Well, I wanted to see how far you could get.
Well, how about we swap places? You work on, getting this thing moving, and we'll just stand by the side and watch you fail.
And Tara's gonna walk over and try to hoist up the anchor.
By herself.
By herself? I'm going to need an athletics check, please.
Well, nobody else is helping, are they?
I mean, we're all here to help, but Geronimo will help her.
Durgus will not help. Durgus will not help.
Geronimo will help.
Okay. So, Geronimo, you can give me an athletics as well.
Oh, this is the worst idea, but okay.
Oh, yes.
These rolls.
Hey, mine wasn't that bad.
Wait, why did it double roll?
You may have clicked it twice and there may have been some delay with the roll. So a 2 and a 16 from Geronimo. So, Natara, you put your back into it and you begin to get some motion, but it's slow going. The mechanism is clearly designed for a couple of people to be pushing on it. Geronimo, meanwhile, clearly has somebody to impress. You roll up the sleeves, you kind of do your little stretches, and you brace yourself against one of the beams, which is actually slightly almost as high as you are. And you begin heaving and puffing, the face going bright red as you continue to push. Natara, you are astounded. You have never seen a gnome push like this. At least not with this much effort. Between the two of you, slowly but surely, there is the slow crank as the mechanism ratchets up and up and up. Even after the first few times, the ship slowly begins to pick up speed, just drifting off towards the mainland ahead. It's still some ways off, there's no risk of crashing. And after a little bit of time, you eventually hear the loud ka-chunk as the mechanism locks. It no longer turns, and you can let go safely without the anchor dropping down again.
And Natara's gonna move over towards what she assumes is the mainsail and undo the knot that's probably tied towards the rigging on the side of the ship.
Meanwhile, Geronimo is going to actually pull himself on top of the ballast circle thing. He's going to stand on top of it and kind of just flex himself, and just like, yeah, kind of thing. Really happy with himself, whilst nobody looks at him.
Baron will look over to Geronimo and try and replicate one of his famous thumbs ups, but just coming across a bit awkward, but trying to be friendly nonetheless.
Geronimo spots it immediately, and kind of like his arms go down, and he just gives Baron another thumbs up with a big old fat smile on his face. They're just standing there, thumbs upping at one another.
Get down! You look like a veiny tomato.
How about you lot come over here and help me hoist the mainsail?
Oh, when we asked you that earlier, you didn't seem to actually do anything.
Well, actually, you didn't ask. But I
well,
did help
my
when
pursuit
you
of
did
authority.
ask, didn't I? So, if you want to do it like that way, why don't you come here and help?
You know what? I don't think I will. I'm feeling sort of bad after going down, and myself and Baron over there basically single-handedly took that woman on.
But you didn't though. You went down, and we had to finish her off.
Geronimo jumps off at this point and runs over to Durgus and kind of like gives him a little pat on the side, and then looks towards Natara and goes, "Hey guys, we're captains of our own ship. Let's just help one another out, like a happy, friendly community."
Baron would be stood at one of the other riggings, with just kind of holding the rope, looking incredibly confused, and just holding one of the smaller hand axes he has in the other hand, trying to kind of guide where he's going to cut it.
No. Geronimo looks towards Baron and he goes, "Hey, Smilesy, maybe just don't cut anything."
I don't know how. I
Don't
don't know how this works.
cut anything, Baron, please.
Yeah, maybe if the four of us here, whilst Hatsy's doing his thing, we can put our minds together. Like 4 minds is better than 3 or 2 or 1 mind.
Looking mostly confused, Baron will kind of just point towards the rigging again. What do I do with this then?
Well, the rigging for the mainsail, we have to just undo the knot, and then
he'd
hoist.
just try and undo the knot.
And then we drag it. You see those oval thingy-majingies up there? She'll point upwards towards the rope rigging, where she assumes that there's like these wooden, I don't know what it's called, that the rope goes in between that you can like pull on it and stuff.
Yeah, going over the pivot at the top there. No, that's absolutely fine. With direction from Natara and unabashed shouting at Baron to get him to stop cutting things that don't need to be cut, you guys manage to hoist the mainsails, tie everything down, and seem to begin picking up some actual speed. Again, still no danger of hitting into land. You're still some distance off there, but you're definitely moving places now, and I think all we need is for someone to take the wheel.
Who is the captain? Who is the captain?
Runs up to the wheel. Runs up towards the wheel.
I knew he would do this.
Natara
Brandon,
stares
put the
daggers
fun
at
hat
Durgus.
Geronimo runs
Let the
after him.
dwarf be the captain.
Geronimo's going to run after Durgus and try and drop kick him. No, I'm kidding. No, Geronimo, if Durgus runs after the wheel, Geronimo is going to run after him, and instead of going for the wheel, he's going to just jump up. If there's like a little sort of like, like a banister next to it, he's going to jump off onto it and then like hold on to Durgus and like point his fingers forward and go, to victory, let's go. And that's what he's going to do, like really corny.
I think with such wonderful and charismatic words, we can begin to kind of fade away from our characters before having that record scratch moment as we zoom back in for one final thing. Durgus, as you're standing there, proudly taking the wheel, captaining this vessel and engorging yourself on an undeserved amount of pride and control and power, you suddenly feel a strange nag at the back of your mind. It's a nag you recognize. It is coming from your book.
Oh god, I'm so glad you didn't end it there. Right, no, he is going to sort of peel his hands off the wheel, which seems to be quite a feat at this point. Like he was gripping it firmly, and he sort of eases backwards and goes, "Geronimo, you're gonna be my quartermaster. I don't know what that is, but just take the wheel for a moment." And
Geronimo's going to take it. Yeah, he's going to take it.
yeah, and he's going to quickly just ease to the side and trying his best to be quite stealthy. But, like on this quite open boat, he's just going to sort of reach down. And you see as he turns his back, sort of facing the sea, as he begins to quite quickly unbuckle the sort of bound book to his chest, which he aims to quite slowly peel open.
You, firstly, are on a ship. It's not a boat. Next, you turn over the pages, and at first the page is blank. though in a way that you recognize as having happened before. You watch as ink begins to almost blot onto the pages as if written by an unseen hand. The words are in Dwarvish, though you can read it quite easily, and in fact the command is very, very, very short. It simply says, 2 miles east, 1 mile deep. And then at the very bottom it says, find it.
Okay.
And having given enough of a dramatic pause to allow you to write that down.
Please do.
Yeah. We are actually going to call the session there. So thank you everyone for watching. A massive thank you to Let's Quest for the raid. Really cool to also see you in chat. We have our socials are linked below. You can join the Discord. We are currently in the midst of planning a West Marches campaign that, well, I'm certainly hoping to get started in the next coming weeks or so. It depends on organising stuff with other GMs. We'd love to see you again in the future. We hope you have enjoyed the show this evening. We will be back again next week, starting at 7 p.m. GMT. But from all of us, I think it's a massive thank you and have a fantastic night.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.